up? What's up? What's going on, y'all? Sandwich.
Tribe. What's going on? Hello, everyone in chat. Man, check this out.
We in the secret
In
society.
the secret VIP society. What's going on over here?
Yes,
Man.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
Let's see.
I just want to real quick let everybody in the chat know, and everybody that comes in to watch this, what I'm going to do with this one. Me and Sandwich going to hang out. We're going to get into it with y'all in the chat. We're going to have a little discussions about everything going on. We're going to get it in, you know what I'm saying? But Sunday, what I'm going to do is re-release this for everybody to be able to watch. So they'll be able to watch y'all in the chat. So if y'all want to say anything to anybody out there that can't see it now and you want to say what's up for somebody later, maybe they'll watch it or something. But I'm going to re-release this Sunday. So this will be our thing until Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm going to let other people. And there's one thing I wanted to let y'all know, too. I can't say why. So Nisi's going to send out an email to all the members and tell y'all why I chose this. But the new code is 99 with an elephant. 99 with an elephant. That's the new code. I know we ain't been using it much and stuff, but maybe it'll pick up sooner or later. But 99 with the elephant, and Nisi will email the whole members group, the whole secret society, and let y'all know why I chose that. I think y'all will like it. But other than that, we just gonna get into it. What's up, Sandwich?
What's going on? That explains why I've been seeing all these little code emojis around. I know Brave Nation's got a little thing, but I can usually figure out the feather, the headdress. But I've been seeing, the elephant. I've been seeing stuff around. I was like, what are people doing? What is going on? See that 99 elephant. Now I know the code, though. Well, at least this week.
That's all right. That's all right. You part of the secret society tonight. So you're going to be part of the code now for at least this week.
At least this week. I'm an honorary member.
Yeah. You know it.
Oh, my
I'm going to say hi to everybody real quick. We got Militant Roots. What's going on, Flintstone Girl? We got Nisi Tribe, Tammy C. What's up? And let me scoot on back because Candle was up in this joint. What's up, Candle? What's going on? And Gardankoi, he was here earlier around 6 o'clock. I don't know if he came back or not, but Gardankoi, what's going on with you?
Nice.
Gia. Glad to see y'all. Glad y'all came to hang out with me. Yeah, I know it's a little different. POTB.
Oh, slid up in there.
What's up, dude? What's going on with you? Man, I got some exciting stuff coming up, though, Sandwich. I got some, I really, you know how, I don't know if you paid attention or not or noticed, but I didn't really do a whole lot as far as content for like 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I was really doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And not with other creators and stuff like that. I was just concentrating on myself and working on the computer and you know, making beats and making thumbnails and coming up with ideas and stuff. I think I came up with a pretty damn good idea that I can't say what it is, but everybody should be looking forward to it because it's probably going to be pretty damn cool. It's going to be something. I'm kind of biting off of another YouTuber that has. It's nowhere near in our community or anything. It has nothing to do with us, but there's, you know, different styles out there, and I can borrow something from some of these huge channels that, you know, I'm a little tiny. I ain't going to hurt them at all, believe me, because it's like a huge channel, but we're going to do some things, you know what I'm saying?
We'll have to be on the lookout for that. It sounds intriguing.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool.
Like, no, just go ahead and tell us.
I can't. If I told, I think there would probably be 20 creators that would go and do it. And I wouldn't blame them, like, you know what I mean? But
somebody gets a good idea on something, everyone's like, oh, I wish I'd done that.
Yeah. And you can't blame them. I mean, everybody's trying to figure this shit out, so.
Yeah. All right.
But you was kicking it today earlier on your live stream.
Oh, thank you. It was one of those where I was like, I've got a funky work schedule, so Wednesdays and Thursdays are my weekend. I'm also off on Sunday, but it doesn't feel like an off day. So Wednesdays and Thursdays I'm off, and I used to do a Thursday night live stream, and I thought about hopping on tonight, and I was like, I'm going to be too tired by the time, you know, evening gets here, because I go to bed pretty early usually. So I thought, let me just hop in. My live streams have been pretty kind of erratic lately, but I'm trying to keep it to Wednesday, Thursdays, and it's in the daytime now. So I miss a lot of the evening folks, you know, so it's nice to see people at night. It's a different crowd, you know.
Yeah.
different people than the afternoon folks. So,
Yeah, no
but
doubt.
yeah, just I thought let me get up there and run my mouth for a little bit, and because I
I
thought I'm not coming on back on tonight, and I'm probably not going to be on Sunday. So
I know I heard that and I was like, man, she might not be able to do it tonight if I ask her to come on. You know what I'm
well, no,
saying?
you if you were listening, then you heard me when I was like, I just got an email. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
answer
I
you in a
heard you.
minute. I was like, hello, secret person. I'll email you in a minute.
But this is what I thought. I thought you had gotten another email because I had
Uh-uh.
emailed you like 30 minutes 40 minutes before that.
Oh, it had
So
just
I
like dinged and notified me. I felt the phone vibrate because I had the ringer off, and I was like, oh,
right. But I
okay.
was like, I didn't care. I was like, I don't care what notification she got. If she's got to go in her email, she'll see mine too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't want to be like creator with the initials PT,
Right, right. They
So
would have known. They would have
yeah,
known.
no, I'm glad to be on here. It's good, and because of
But
time difference anyway, so it's not that late for me. So because I'm an
right,
hour
right.
behind you. So
But I did hear something.
yeah.
I don't know what live stream it was, but
Oh.
me and you have talked a few times, and we talked about Texas, and
Hmm.
I know that you wasn't too worried about Texas getting cold like it did last year and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I heard you talking, and it seems
Yeah.
like you might have changed your mind a little bit.
I like to watch on YouTube. There's a channel, Pal Ponder on Weather. I like his weather. I like the way he gives the weather. I just like him. I know a lot of people like Ryan Hall. Y'all is another one. He's a former or a retired weather forecaster, and I think Pal Ponder was as well. But
Right.
Pal Ponder's up in the Dallas Fort Worth area, so he's a Texan, but he gives the weather for the entire U.S. He shows what's coming in. He just gives a really good detailed weather report and what he thinks is coming, and he's pretty damn accurate. And he's been showing what's he's expecting coming up weather-wise for the winter. And yeah, he's showing for Texas. Now he's not showing, like what happened in February, but he is saying we're going to be a little cooler. It's going to be a little wetter. It's going to be coming in.
Really?
Yeah, not like last February, but that was such a weird thing. But apparently, I didn't start watching him until after that had happened, and apparently, everyone who had watched him before then, people were commenting he predicted that coming, so they knew way ahead of time.
Oh,
So I was like, let me watch this dude since he was right and he knew it was coming.
yeah.
I can get
That wasn't easy to predict. I mean, you
no.
predict Texas is going to get that, like everybody's going to look at you like you're a nutcase.
Exactly. It's like, no, we're not getting any
Uh,
snow. No, we got snow. We got 9-10 inches of snow.
so what is he thinking? Like, so people down in Texas that might not know,
Um,
what was he predicting for this year down there?
so far his long range forecast for the winter is just it's kind of, they can only give this kind of general vague forecast. It's going to be damper, wetter, below average temperatures, but not like, the whole winter is not going to be like February was. We're not having that deep freeze,
Right.
but that was a weird storm that came through. So, who knows? I hope the hell we don't have another one of those. That was not fun.
Yeah.
That's not on my list of a good time,
Right. Right. You know,
Although this,
I got
if
to tell you, here in Maryland, not to cut you off, just
no,
real
no, no.
quick, here in Maryland, it has been about as normal as it could possibly be. It's just like it was when I always say you're going to need a jacket around Halloween. When you go out trick-or-treating, that's when you got to wear your jacket for the
Mhm.
first time. And that's about what happened. And it got real chilly this week. And that's kind of how I grew up. It always was chilly in November, got colder in December. So right now, it seems to be going just as smooth as it could be. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Nothing weird.
Yeah. So far, nothing too weird. Did you guys get any of that crazy wind and all that mess that was going through?
Yeah,
Did you get all that? Because I
yeah,
did see them reporting that, and I was like, oh, they were calling it the bomb cyclone and coming
yeah.
across, and I was like, I'm glad we're not getting that. We got here in Central Texas like 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds, like for a day and a half, and then we had a cold front come in and rain, and it's been nasty like yesterday and today. But
Native, what's up? Yeah,
hey, native.
if you get a chance, go to my channel. I put out a couple really short videos of the flooding that was going on. I went down to the
I
beach
saw
right by
the
my.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, water was just flowing in over top of the road into the basketball courts and over to the lake and stuff. It was crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, tore my plants. I brought my
Oh man.
plants in. I got two. Let me tell you what I did. So I got all my you know I had a bucket garden out there on my
Hmm.
porch. I brought in two pepper plants, a tomato plant, my basil, and two other herb plants. I brought them all in the house. And I got them all over. I said, man, I'm just gonna keep trying to grow them. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know how long they'll last, but I'm gonna keep getting it.
Yeah, your
And
garden was looking good. How's it doing? Is it still producing? And how'd you do?
this my cherry tomatoes were the bomb this year. I mean, there's
Mm,
still like probably 50 or 60 cherry tomatoes growing on my two plants. They're just
nice.
maybe even more, but it's real cold. Like last night it got almost down to freezing. It was like
Wow.
37 degrees. So and I had another plant that was like the best plant for regular tomatoes. It put out real beautiful, perfectly shaped tomatoes. And right now it's got like 10 tomatoes on it. And I'm like, I can't let them just die off.
No.
It's too
Yeah.
cold out there for them. So I brought it in the house. I'm like, I'm just going to baby the hell out of it. Hopefully I can get some tomatoes during the winter.
Yeah, you might be able to. That'd be nice. Have fresh vegetables in the winter. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead and get you some grow lights and
Yeah. I don't know about all that, though. Shit's too expensive. You know what I'm saying?
it's getting more expensive. Better buy it now while you can afford it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
sometimes that's easier said than done though, you know? I say
We
that and
got
I've
such a packed house.
yeah.
I mean, we really do. And the way our living room is set up, I'll tell you real quick. The fireplace is in the corner. So it takes up a whole, you know how much room you got to have for a fireplace. Then on one wall you got these huge sliding glass doors. On another wall you got huge sliding glass doors. Then you got the stairway to go downstairs. Then you got the kitchen right up here. It's like there's only one wall that you can actually put stuff on, and I got this whole studio set up in the corner of it. So it's like there's no room for nothing. Like there's no way I could. And downstairs there's a lot of room, but I've got tons of kids and grandkids, and my son's always fighting with his girlfriend, and he ends up leaving for a day or two and wants to move back in, and then 2 days later they get back together. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
So boom. So I don't want to like set up anything down there because if one of my kids need to come here or my grandkids need to come here, I gotta have a place for them. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Gotta get
But but
creative.
But my youngest son, I'm a little worried because today he has a headache, runny nose, and a sore throat.
Could be the
And
weather.
I hope so.
It could be that weather. I mean, you had all that wind, it blows all kinds of crap in. I thought I had
Yeah,
it. I
yeah.
thought I was getting sick about 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh man, I feel achy. I don't feel great. It was windy as hell. And I said, hopefully it's just blowing stuff in. And Mister was like, you're okay. You're okay. You're not sick. I was like, I think he's more afraid of having to take care of me while I'm sick. you know,
Right,
you're like,
right.
oh shit, who's going to cook now?
Yep.
Oh,
I don't mean to be leaving the chat out. We just wanted to chit chat for a little bit, off break. But we with you. I know it's a members live. It's all about y'all in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all
I'm
sitting
keeping an
back
eye on
like,
him.
man, try. What about us, man?
We don't care
We
about
members. We
yeah,
the
we don't care
secret
about the
society.
weather.
Sandwich ain't no secret society.
Slipping this person in here.
Right, right.
No, I've been keeping an eye on watching them. The
I,
99 elephant is killing me. It's funny.
yeah, yeah. Nah, I can't spill it because I'm going.
No, because I'm not a member. You just gotta keep a secret.
Well, I would tell you because you're an honorary member this week,
Oh,
but
okay.
but the only thing is I'm just for the people that might have just came in, I'm gonna re-release this video Sunday and put it out there for everybody to see. So if you want to say anything to anybody, I said this a little bit earlier, but you might not have been in here. But we're gonna keep this, secret society and all that. But everybody knows about secret society. But I'm not gonna say anything. I give the code. The new code is 99 and an elephant. And what Nisi's gonna do is shoot out an email and tell y'all why I chose that. Because that's just for the members. Anybody who's rewatching this after I release it Sunday, we can't tell you why the code. We can't give it up like that. You got to be a member to know that stuff. But for the members, the new code is 99 and an elephant. And y'all going to love the reasons why. Nisi will send out a group email to the members. Anyway, Just to let y'all know. But if y'all got anything y'all want to say to people, people will come and watch this when I re-release it Sunday. They're going to see, the members up in here, and we're going to be chilling. Y'all want to say something to anybody, Native, you want to cuss anybody out, you know how it is.
Yeah, you know how Native does. You gotta
Yes,
watch him.
indeed.
You know how he gets. Just
Native
cussing
don't
people
care.
out. No, he don't. He don't give a shit. He got
He,
zero
he'll just
fucks.
cuss. He'll just cuss out
He does.
political
He does.
left.
He just
You
cuss
know what
people
I'm
out just for the hell of it, just cause.
saying? Yeah.
He don't. He got zero fucks to give.
I got a question for you though, Sam, because I
Oh,
think that you might have. I haven't seen a video on it, and I haven't read about it. The only person I really talked to about it was POTB. He said, you hear because people talk about it a little bit, but I haven't heard anybody say exactly what had happened. Nisi read a little bit, but I was getting ready for this, so I didn't catch everything she was saying. China tells 1.4 billion people to stock up food until next summer, and batteries and light.
I haven't heard about till next summer or batteries and light. What I had read and what I saw, because I actually saw it that morning before everyone picked it up, and I'm kicking myself in the butt. You always want to be like, oh, I want to break the news first. I want to be that's how I am anyway. I get like that. It's like, I want to be first. I couldn't be first
Right.
getting the news out there because I had to get to work. So I
Right.
saw it at like 6:30 that morning. And I was like, and I have to be logged in at 7, and it takes time to get into the system, so I was like, okay, well, if it still hasn't been picked up by the time I get off work at noon, I'm gonna hop in here and I'm gonna put it out there. Well, it was picked up at like 10 my time, 10 or 11 my time, Central Time. Pinball picked it up, Southern Prepper picked it up. A lot of people were picking it up. What I saw was that it was they told the population to stock up on food. There's been a lot that's going on in China. They've had bad crop of vegetables, no vegetables, so there's shortages there. They've been having electricity shortages since at least this past summer, because I've talked about that a couple times on my channel.
Yeah.
And that was affecting or starting to affect shipping, getting manufacturing done, because it was in a major province where it's mostly industrial or highly industrial, where things are manufactured. And so they've been having the rolling blackouts. And of course, we've been hearing more about that in this last month or so, last 2 months. It's been going on since the summer,
Right. Right.
So yeah, it's a big damn deal, y'all. It's a big damn deal. Yeah, exactly, Native. Going to be a dark winter. Everyone keeps saying that, and now I think people are actually paying attention to that.
The only thing that gets me, and it's kind of what you said on your live, it's they are iron-fisted communists. They want control of everything. So for them to tell their people pretty much to be preppers, that just doesn't add up. And then
It's a major problem. It's a major problem, and I don't think most Americans realize how serious this is, how serious it is, because I feel like a lot of not to cut you off, but I think a lot of, especially younger generation, maybe don't fully appreciate or fully understand what communism consists of, what that's like. And those of us of a certain age, who are, I'll say like 40s and older, maybe some 30s, no, but 40s and older, we remember the Cold War era. We remember USSR. We remember all of this stuff in communism. Guys, they don't just, the Communist Party is not going to admit that they don't have control over something. And that's essentially what's just happened, is that they can't provide. That's the whole thing with part of communism. They've got to provide. They are
yes,
taking care of, quote unquote, the people.
or
And
at
I'm putting
least
that, it
act.
sounds, yes, they're going to at least act like they can. And they are trying to save face a little bit. And that's the other part of it too, with my understanding of Asian cultures. There's a big thing in saving face. And
Yes,
that's like that with anybody. I mean, really,
and they do it more than
everybody.
anybody.
Yes, exactly. It's a big part of culture, with my understanding of a lot of Asian cultures, saving face. So that's a really big deal for them to come out and basically say, like, we don't have, I mean, they're saying, no, we have enough food, but you need to go prepare. You need to go and have stocked up. And the first things I saw said that initially, like very briefly at first, what was kind of put out on, I forget what the name, like WeGo or Weebla, it's something, their version of Twitter.
Weebay or some shit like
It's
that.
something like that. Yeah,
Right.
Weibo, or it's something like that. It was coming across on it's their version of Twitter in China
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
and it's controlled by the state, by the
Oh yeah.
Communist Party. That's why they don't have Twitter. It's control everything's controlled, it's
Right.
everything is so highly controlled by the Communist Party. At first it was going across on their Twitter, whatever it's called, that people are saying, "Oh, the government announced this," and all the older people immediately ran out and started panic buying. And it was almost like it was kind of a mocking, like, "Ah, ha, ha, boomer," kind of thing, and that shut up pretty quick. And the only thing I can think is maybe some of those older people educated you on that's never happened before.
Yeah.
The Communist Party has never told their people, told their population, "We don't have enough. There's not enough. You need to go stock up. You need to make
Yeah.
sure you have supplies at home."
The number one thing that I think about, forget the communists, forget that it's China, forget anything. We know damn well that no government, not even a free nation government, no government tells 1.4 billion people you need to go stock up food for a year or whatever. And POTB said that they actually said get batteries and light too. And he said that their reasons was for another wave, and also something because of the floods and stuff. But POTB made sense. He's like, well, why do you, if it's another wave of that and another wave of, it's because of floods and food, they're saying that they won't have the food because of the floods. Why do they need batteries and light?
Because of electricity. They're
I,
not
I
getting their
know, but
coal.
it
They're not
doesn't
getting
add
coal
up
from
to their
China, right?
excuses.
No, it doesn't. There's a lot of speculation going around right now. I've been seeing people are speculating, and I saw this and I was like, huh, interesting. There's some speculation going on that maybe there is another wave that's a worse wave or a different wave that's,
Yeah.
that they're not making public, kind of like how we didn't find out until February, March last year.
Yeah, let me
And
tell you, because Nisi
mhm.
just looked it up, and they said that they shut down Walt Disney World,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
it actually happened in Shanghai,
Hmm.
and that's where something is happening right now. But China, they don't ever let nothing out.
No, no. Well, it's like, and I just saw Militant Roots. They were saying lived in Korea for 2 years and was struck by how huge that is over there in respect to it is. Well, it's important to everyone, but it's very ingrained in the culture. And again, I'm not Asian, so I don't want to speak out for but this is been my understanding in my lifetime. Saving face and respect and honor is a big deal, and it's like that in a lot of other cultures, not just Asian cultures, Middle East too. It's a big deal, But yeah, and it's a big deal for the Communist Party over there. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of speculation that's starting to kind of bubble around that I'm seeing on a lot of platforms. People speculating that it's because there may be another wave and they're not telling anybody. And could be for that. It could be because
But
they
what's
don't have
weird,
electricity, which would make sense. Stock up on batteries and ways to light, just like hell,
but what's
Germany
weird,
last month.
but what's weird is they did kind of mention a new. They didn't say that they were having one, but they said it could happen, a new wave, and we know
Mhm.
China doesn't let out any information on that
No,
at all.
no.
So, but this is the number one thing for me. I know I already said I had a number one, but this is the number
This
one
is the
thing.
next number one. Yeah.
This is it. Anything that China puts out as a reason, you have to know right off the bat. If everybody can hear it, it is not the truth. So you know what I'm saying? They never tell the truth about why to do anything. They always cover up anything. It's always an agenda especially with China, the communists. That's in it, like you said, it's
It's
in
not
their
gonna be the full
culture to do that.
Yeah, it's not gonna be the
So,
full truth. It's not
so
gonna be the full story.
exactly. So it definitely there's something there that we're going to either have to figure out or we're going to find out.
Well, I see POTB there was talking about I saw that as well, POTB about, speculating about a possible Taiwan conflict, and I saw that did get squashed pretty quickly. And, yeah, stock
Of
up for
course
winter
they
and
do.
necessities. And, that you bring that up, POTB, I actually before, I came on and before I was talking with, Tribe backstage and all earlier, I was looking at something over on, if anyone, if I hope you don't mind me saying Sage News. If anyone doesn't know Sage News,
No,
I
no, Sage
highly
is cool.
recommend. He's awesome. He is
Yeah,
freaking awesome, and he is
yeah.
on point with news and with stuff going on in shipping. But he was
He
talking
he.
about everything. We know the ports are backed up here in the U.S. They're backed up 6 times worse over than China. But he was
Yeah,
pointing out that Singapore and Taiwan are now getting pretty backed up as well, and made a point that that's where a lot of our electronics and our technology comes from, is Singapore and Taiwan. So if there's anything you want, you might want to get it. Just saying. Just
yeah,
saying. You know,
yeah,
I would probably say food and water and hygiene supplies and all that other stuff first before you spring for the new TV. Just a
yeah,
suggestion, but
yeah. This would be a good Christmas to really try to get your kids into the prepper mindset a little
hmm
bit.
yeah,
I mean, kids love, especially boys, but there's some girls out there too. My daughter and I gave my granddaughter a bug out bag for her
yeah,
birthday and stuff, right?
yeah.
She got that bag. Her mom hit me later on that evening. She's like, Pooties is still outside. She will not come in the house. She's out there with her bag. She's acting like she's bugging out.
She's bugging
And
out.
I'm like, there you go. She's learned. That right there will stick with her. Her grandfather gave her a bug out bag, and look at all these things. I put a life straw in there, brand new life straw.
Mhm.
I put a sewing kit. I put oh no, I didn't do the sewing kit. I told her mom she's got to get a sewing kit for her. I put some adult stuff. I put a ferro rod in there with a striker. I gave her a knife, and I hit her mom first. I'm like, look, I'm putting a knife in there, and it's a bushcraft knife. It's small, but it's still a real knife, full tang. And I was like, you gotta be real. But she's a little. My granddaughter is super smart. It's still got to be careful though. She's still a little girl. She's young. She's 8 years old. You still got to be real careful. But
Yeah, but this is how you learn, though.
yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta let kids have stuff and learn.
yep, yep.
That's how I learned. So
But it turned out great. Like she really enjoyed it. As soon as she got it,
awesome.
she went bunk wild.
She went out there and started training.
Yeah, yeah,
It says she's out there pretending. No, she's training. She
yeah.
she's
But
wargaming.
if this ain't a good chance for parents to, I mean, just little stuff. I mean, kids like, especially if you got real small ones. But it's good for any. If you got a teenager, you could really teach. Buy, if you don't believe in pew pews, maybe a BB or a pellet pew pew.
Well, in some states, that may be all you can get too.
Yeah,
Depending on your
yeah,
state's laws, those things can still put a little sting on you. You know,
yeah.
and you can
And
still
you
do a lot with a
definitely.
pellet gun.
Oh hell yeah,
Small
you
game. You can still
you
get
can
pellet.
hunt.
Small game. Yeah, rabbits,
Yeah,
squirrels, things like that. So
yep.
yeah, but
And you want to get that stuff now too, because like Canadian Prepper was saying, and other channels they were talking about how they're coming at prepping over here. It seems like, and also the stock of stuff is real bad. I mean, Canadian
mhm.
Prepper's talking about he won't get some stuff in until next spring.
Well,
And he said
yeah.
that's one of his largest companies that carries a lot of his stuff, that he won't be able to get a lot of stuff till next spring, if then.
hmm I believe it. I believe
That
it.
that's wild.
Well, and it's like I was saying on my stream today. I was telling people, I don't know if you heard it, talking about. I had a moment in the grocery store yesterday. So I guess to back it up, I'll tell the story here for anyone who didn't hear. Um, and the last 24, well, it's 48 hours now, roughly. We've all kind of pretty much been hearing at some point within the last 48 hours that China has told, their population, their citizens, you need to stock up. You need to get some shit.
Yeah.
And
That is the single craziest thing I've ever heard come out of China.
well,
I'll
that's what I'm
say it.
saying. When people ran to the stores, and the population listened. They listened. It wasn't like the U.S. where people were like, yeah, whatever. Like, nah, we're good. It's like they listened because that's never happened before.
Yeah.
Hell, it never happened here either, and people still went, we're good.
But
Till they
but
couldn't get a pack of Charmin, and then they're like, oh crap.
do you wonder that maybe that it makes me wonder if our government, they're going to come out with something and try to tell us the same damn thing but in a different way, because they
We've
already did
well,
with the Christmas shopping
yeah, so
thing
say we've
with
already been told.
Kamala.
Yeah, yeah. We've already been
But
told, and businesses have been telling. I don't know that anything would come from the administration because they're trying to spin it as the reason for shortages is because the economy is reemerging from the worldwide sickness, and that's why there are shortages. It's not because there's an actual shortage, it's because we're just spending all this money that we don't have, right? That's what they're painting the picture as, and that's not true. We know it's not true. What money are we spending? We don't have any money. People have lost their
right,
jobs,
right,
and people didn't go back to their job. There's a lot that's happened in the last even the last 6 months, this year, not even the last year and a half. So the current administration is painting it as there's not, they've actually even said there aren't shortages. It's logistics, it's supply chain issues, but it's because the world economy is emerging from this sickness. And I guess we're all just so slap happy. We're spending every nickel we've got to buy everything there is out there. And that's not the case.
yeah,
That's not remotely true. If you ask anyone in supply chain, they're like, no, that's not what's happening.
right.
So, but
And another thing that is kind of worrisome is all the stuff that I'm hearing from people that work at banks and people going to banks.
yeah,
And they're having conversations with people and they're talking about they might not even have cash,
I've just
you
started hearing
know?
some of that. Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, who was it I saw that was talking about they went.
Roaming dropped a video
Yeah,
on
I was gonna say
roaming
I thought it was
prepper.
roaming, and it was somebody else who said they had a similar conversation with someone at their bank who said they couldn't get cash, and I went, "What?"
Yeah,
So I was like, "Let me see about going and starting to eke out a little bit of money here and there.
yeah,
Have some cash. You should always try and keep cash on hand anyway at your home for emergencies. Um,
yeah.
this
Might
sounds
want to
like it.
keep a little bit more nowadays.
I'm gonna dig a hole in the backyard and plant some money back there.
Yeah,
But
yep.
yeah, yeah. But then
Uh,
then I also think when I think of that, I think, yeah, but if I don't know if the economy were to really tank, are those dollars going to be worth anything? Are we going to? My
I
brain takes off
know.
and I start thinking of crap like hyperinflation, like Venezuela hyperinflation, where they don't even really carry cash anymore because you can't carry enough. Everything's debit, everything's electronic.
Yeah,
They had to go electronic because the economy is trashed. They can't carry enough money to buy a loaf of bread. It takes up so much, they have to carry so many bills.
yeah. Like their McDonald's don't even have French fries. Like a French fry, if you was to go to a McDonald's and buy a French fry, it would cost you like $150 for a small fry.
Oh
Because of
man.
potatoes. I seen that this was shit. This was probably a couple months ago when I seen the video where they really went in on it and talked about it. It was some kind of documentary, a little kind of style documentary,
Uh-huh.
but they were talking about how bad it is in Venezuela. I mean, it is horrendous.
It really is. Yeah. At the start of all this, I watched, well, I'm say not the very, very start, but last year, probably summer sometime. I think I talked about it at some point, but I found this set of videos. It popped up as recommended for you, in your stream. And I was like, I started
Yeah,
watching it, and it was this guy who went down as 2018 or 2019. He went, I think it was 2018. He went to Venezuela, and he basically had to hire somebody as, this is my friend who's going to show me around. It was his protection basically because of the crime, it's so dangerous.
right.
But it talked about, how fast it happened when it started tanking and how quickly things went up, and the prices changed daily, and we're still changing daily. From the time you walked into a restaurant, if you could afford to eat at a restaurant, you'd walk in. By the time you could sit down and order and the food get to your table, the price had changed and gone up again. Is that kind of
Yep,
thing.
yep.
It's insane. It was really talked about the amount of crime, and I've seen stuff where people, are hustling and trying to, it's a real barter system there too. It was really kind of neat, and just to see, how creative people get. I saw one where this lady would go and she'd get like slivers of soap and different things, and she'd like melt it down, and she had containers like old laundry detergent containers, and she'd mix up and make, she called it her laundry soap or whatever kind of soap.
Yeah,
And
I
that
used to
had,
make it.
yeah, and that had value, and she traded that for a new mattress because she had like a grandkid that came to stay with her, or another family member, and she needed a
Wow,
mattress. She traded like 4 or 5 of those laundry containers of soap for brand new in the plastic mattress. And I was like, where did they get that mattress?
wow.
Don't ask questions,
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
thing. But
Don't
I was
ask, I
like,
won't tell.
exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't ask because you don't need to ask.
Right.
You have what I need. Excellent. Here you go.
Yeah.
Mind your business.
I growing up, I hate when people talk about when they grew up and, oh, it was so bad and stuff. But when you
Well,
grow up in areas or when you grow up, there's people that know how bad it can get.
yes.
There's tons of people that know how bad it can get. I mean, you'll go 2, 3 weeks and the only thing you eat are ramen noodles because they're 10 cents a pack, back in the days.
Yeah.
And you can eat 2 packs and then in the evening eat 2 packs and you make it to the next day, until you end up, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people who don't know about that. And when if shift happens,
You gotta
and
learn
it
real
gets as
quick.
bad, there's going to be a lot of people out here that have never been through tough times and they ain't going to know how to handle it.
No,
And they
absolutely.
ain't going to know the little things like you said. This lady knew how to make soap and then she used it as bartering.
Yeah.
These people that have had stuff their whole life, but they're not upper class, they're, just above, poor folks. But
Mhm.
they've always had enough and really never had to worry about a meal and stuff. They ain't going to know like the little tricks to going to a church to pick up a couple canned goods and eating that kind of food. The no name stuff you don't even see in the stores. It's so no name. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Jars of peanut butter that you've never seen before because it's black and white writing on it. You know what I'm saying?
That's called generic brand. That was what it was
Yeah,
called, was
super
generic.
generic.
Super
Yes,
generic with
indeed.
your food stamps and it separate and about break the damn wooden spoon to stir it to try and mix it. But no, I
Break your
know it.
bread all up.
That's
Yes.
break everything. Yeah. No,
Yes,
I know that.
indeed.
No, I've talked a little bit on my channel. I don't talk a whole lot, but yeah, growing up, I experienced that growing up. Did we have it as bad as other kids I knew? No, we didn't. But those kids were my friends because in school everything's real cliquish. That's who you associate with. That strat. You got that hierarchy in school, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, as a kid, so as an adult, I'm like, hell, I don't want to get back. I don't want to get back there. I mean, I've been there, but I mean, I want to visit it again.
And
But
what's so bad about it is things like that you don't, because it's the prepping community. We always try to put some kind of prepping stuff out there and try to teach
mhm,
people how to prep, but we're preppers, so we have all this backup and all this stuff that we've prepared for. So we don't really get into the how to find food when you don't have any, because we do have it. We teach you
yeah,
how to, get certain foods that last forever, or how to can foods, or what foods that'll store for 20 years.
right.
But when shit hits the fan, us in the prepping community, we're really gonna have to step up. And some of us that grew up poor and stuff, we're gonna have to come out with some content to help people out, to tell them, hey, look, you can do this. You can go to the church and hit them up like once every 2 weeks. If you're really in dire means, sometimes they'll have blankets, sometimes they'll have long sleeve shirts, they'll give you a bag of food, you know what I'm saying? And you got to be careful with it, because there are people out here that will take advantage of that,
That's what I was
that
about to say.
really
It's like,
don't need it.
but see,
But
that's the
there,
thing. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. There's already a lot of people out there doing that, and a lot of people are taking advantage of it. You
yeah,
know, there's
yeah,
people that are using. I've talked about it a little bit. There's people out there who are doing well in life and they're prepping, and then they're also going and hitting the church up and hitting up the pantries and the food banks, and they're patting themselves on the back and posting about it online on different platforms and saying, hey, y'all should go and do this because this is great. And I'm like, you son of
nah.
a bitch.
I don't. Do they not realize what they're doing? I mean, because you
No,
can't.
they don't care.
I mean, that if you go to a church for that, you're going because you're absolutely at
Yeah,
you're in dire straits. You know
right.
what I'm saying? You really need some help. That's why you would go to a church to ask
Hmm.
for help with something like that. But I mean, you can't not tell people, because you got to worry about the ones that'll be bad. Like, there are
Hmm.
people out there that really need it. And I tell
Oh
you
yeah.
what, in 2020. There was I got a cousin on my dad's side that I didn't really grow up knowing and stuff like that, but after Facebook came out, I ended up hooking up with family on my dad's side and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually ran a food bank. And he talked to other food banks and stuff too, and they were running out of food. They were getting to the point where they would shut the door and wouldn't be able to open up for a couple days because they just didn't have them. They were, online every day. Please send us $2, $3. If you got any canned goods, drop them off here because we are all out. We have people that are starving out here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So to all these people that do go out and take advantage of places, please stop because these places do run out of stuff. They're not an endless. They
They're
don't
not
have
a free
endless,
grocery store. Yeah.
Right. They struggle to get stuff too, man. Especially when shift happens, man. You'll get depleted quick. I seen something on a video, and they were talking about how they went from. In a week, they were serving like 500 people, and it jumped to like 2,000 in a week.
Wow.
And that is huge because it's just like McDonald's. They order stuff for their weekly. They got an average of how much they sell, and they might sell a little more sometimes or something like this or that. But that's the same thing with these people. They get a certain amount because every week it's usually. This many people and stuff. When something just jumps on them like that, it's almost impossible to keep up with, if not impossible to keep up with.
Right.
And that's scary. That's scary because then you really do have people starving.
Yes.
Because even the last place they can go don't have anything. Then what do? That's when crime starts hitting. Mm-hmm. People gonna eat or at least try, no matter what.
I think crime is already increase. I know I've seen some people saying that they've noticed, theft and robberies increased in their area, or they see statistics or something. I do believe it is going up. I've been seen some people talk about, where they live, that there were stories about, or one or two stories. And I talked about it happening last year, over in a town on the other side of Fort Hood. It's a little bitty town. People waiting outside the grocery store to steal your groceries from you when you come out of the store, Yeah. And I've seen a little bit of that, and something I thought was kind of weird. I thought, what? Why are people stealing this? People stealing makeup, cosmetics from Walmart and Walgreens.
Probably to sell it.
I don't know why somebody was going to be selling Maybelline on the out, but okay, I guess. I don't know. But I thought I saw someone online had posted that, and they said, oh, my Walgreens, they've got, inside of Walgreens, they usually have that little cash register over there anyway around the makeup. And they said, no, the makeup had been moved like behind lock and key, and they had somebody over there. I was like, wow, they had like re-outfitted the store. I was like, that's weird. And they had somebody over there all the time watching it. Well, I actually saw that in Walmart yesterday. There was a guy back in local Walmart to where I am, and he's just hanging out back there. And I thought, oh, he's on break or messing around. And then I realized I kind of was watching for a while. I was kind of doing different stuff and was up and down some of the aisles. But I was kind of watching him because I thought maybe he's waiting for them to bring something out so he can stock it, or he's on a break waiting for some. No, he was back there because he's looking up and down the aisles. I was like, he's back here watching, back there in the cosmetics.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's back there stealing CoverGirl?
Now,
granted, I've seen some crazy stuff happening in the Walmart. I've seen people go back there and paint their fingernails and then leave. I guess it wasn't payday yet. They had to get their nails done before they went out. I don't know, but
right. Well, I tell you what, they'll even plant cops that are dressed up as regular old folks and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they'll be acting like they're shopping and stuff, but well, I can tell.
I was gonna say, if you know how to tell, you can tell.
Yeah. They carry themselves in a certain way anyway. Most of them. There are some ones that just seem to have something about them where they don't get caught up in the whole, they get militarized or they get, zoned into being a cop so much that they all end up having them traits to them. But there's some of them that don't go that route, man, and they're just as... I'm not saying that all of them ain't cool, but they just seem cooler or something. Like they're not so straight, her.
Yeah.
Cops are rough, man. My uncle, he was an MP in the military. He served 4 tours in Vietnam. Then he came back, and he was an MP in Vietnam. I don't know if he was an MP the whole time, but he was an MP for a while. When he came back, he ended up being the head police for Reagan International and Dulles Airport.
Nice.
And he's seen all kinds of crazies. He a plane would drain out after landing, and he'd go into the bathroom, and there'd be a baby in the toilet. I mean, it was all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But he had that thing about him where you knew it was also the military in Vietnam War, but it was also that cop thing. You could just he was so, and he's a very
Rigid.
cool dude, but he's just very
Real stiff, rigid, like.
yeah.
Yeah.
If it comes down to it, he ain't playing no games, you know.
Yeah. So I'm seeing the recipes here in the chat. We're talking about ramen and crackers and some pickles. I'm like, yeah.
I wanted to mention that because Militant Roots, I didn't want to throw it up there. I don't know if he wants me to put that up on the screen or not, but I was in there too, brother. And what we used to do is we get the cup of noodles and we would chop up, because you could get the beef and cheese sticks and you could chop those up. And we used to call it the hookup. Like, man, you making the hookup? I'm telling you, when you in that place, when you in jail, you will eat after somebody because you're so damn hungry. Like, you eat half of your cup of noodles, you'll have somebody, man, you gonna finish that? Man, I'm hungry as hell, man. Can I get the rest of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, I got you. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. But I only did tiny little stints. I ain't do no major time or nothing. My shit was driving drunk, racing down the street, and I had one DUI where me and my buddy pulled out and started racing down the street, and the cop was right there. And oh Lord, you know what I mean?
That'll get their attention. Yeah.
Hell yeah, 3:00 in the morning, 19 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Stupid. Yes, indeed. Cop pulls you over. You're just like, yeah, I'm tore up, man. You ain't got to do no. I'll admit it. You know what I'm saying?
You can't even hide it. Can't pretend.
Yeah.
Shit.
Please don't make me get out because I'm going to fall down. You know what I mean?
Can you step out of the car? Nope. Sure can't.
Right.
Fall out.
If you help me out this month. But we all do stupid shit when we're younger, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So what you doing to, you and Nisi do anything particular special in the last 24, 36 hours, 48 hours? How about that since the announcement with China? Because like I said earlier today, I could tell a difference at the store. I didn't think people were paying attention, but they are. I'm a little surprised. Yeah. I'm glad because people are paying attention. Not enough, I think, but more people are paying attention than I thought.
Yeah. I haven't really been paying attention to the people, but we've been hitting up the stores and picking up food that we can, which we're kind of doing that anyway. But when you're like us, you're so. Every time you go in a store, you think about what could I get for prepping. It's just what you've been doing it so long that you get extra canned goods, you get an extra bag. Like now that I'm canning, every time I go to the store, I'm picking up 4 bags of potatoes because I know I can go home and can them, and I'll have potatoes for days. And TJ Preps and Lake Ferry and Tinfoil, they had a live, and I think Nisi was telling me about it, where she was saying that potatoes might get I didn't get to watch it, I wasn't home, but Nisi was telling me that they had they were saying different things that's going on because of the weather or something, and they said something about potatoes might not be.
Yeah, I had heard, I didn't hear about that specifically. What I had heard from somebody else on another platform, I see for any of your listeners that don't know, I lurk on a lot of platforms on social media and in different kinds of forums for different fields of work. And I like to gather information that way. I like to hear from people, from the horse's mouth, what's going on. If somebody's got just a little tidbit, I like to get information that way. I think that's the most accurate in my opinion, especially if you see the same thing, people saying about the same thing across a couple of platforms, or in different areas of the country. And it's like, okay, that's legitimate. So what I'd heard was that there was there's a potato shortage, and that Lay's was having trouble making potato chips. Now, I don't know if that's accurate. I kind of was tending to think it was probably more along the lines of having trouble getting packaging, because there is a significant shortage in packing materials, packaging, like for the bags for
Right.
chips and for, labels and aluminum foil, things like that. There's a
Yeah.
real shortage of that. So I was kind of wondering
And
if maybe
plastic.
exactly the plastics and aluminum shortage,
Yep.
things like that. So I thought it was probably more likely that it was that instead of there not being enough potatoes. I don't know, because all I know is whenever I go to the store, there's hardly any frozen potatoes in the frozen food section. I like French fries. I'm about half addicted to French fries, so I've noticed that French fries are significantly lacking at the store. Not that I can't
Right.
go and get a potato and chop it up, make my own at home, but
Right.
sometimes I like a little convenience.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Hell
So I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if it's a potato shortage because I've heard conflicting reports of people saying no, the harvest was great this year. Why would it be short? So I don't know. I don't know if it's an actual potato problem or if it's the packing materials.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either one's possible. Both are possible.
They something like the potatoes are the third most out of food, is something about the third most. I forget what Nisi told me that they said, but it's like it's high up on what feeds the world. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like third in line
Yeah,
or
probably it's
something.
potato. I would think potatoes, rice, and probably either pasta or beans. Probably those four.
Yeah.
The staples that we always tell everyone when you're prepping, you want to get these things. Now, I
Right.
will throw in here real quick. I know that you saw her Appalachian's homestead with Patera, rice, pasta, and potato.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, that
that's what
makes sense.
Sandwich just said.
Yeah, no, I heard Nisi say in the background, rice, pasta, and
Right,
potato.
right.
Yeah, but Appalachian homestead with Patera. I know you saw her channel because I know you shared out because she's doing her giveaway of that canner. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching her for a while. I really like her, and she was talking
Yeah.
about. I don't know if you saw. She had put out about the wheat shortage.
I think I
She
seen the
she
thumbnail or something and I couldn't watch it because
well,
I
she put up that she'd had a dream about some
yeah, that's what it
stuff.
was.
She had
Yeah.
a dream, and then come to find out there was a wheat shortage, and so that's going to be affecting pasta. And I was like, well, more than just pasta, wheat's in everything. Wheat's in things
Yeah.
that you don't even realize. It's a filler on
Yeah.
a lot of food.
Yeah.
So
G2 was talking to me about wheat.
yeah, wheat, soy, and
I
milk
can't I
products.
can't I can't I can't eat wheat. I can't mess with wheat.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I get a little bit of it and certain stuff that I don't even know what's in, but like if I eat a wheat bread sandwich, my
uh-huh.
stomach gets destroyed. Like I'll be in
Is
so
it the
much.
gluten or is it the wheat itself?
It's something to do with irritable bowel syndrome. I got that
Okay,
IBS. So
right.
whatever it does with that, it'll make it to where you
It'll mess you
can't
up.
go or something.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
it
know. My mother's
hurts.
got IBS. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But G2, she was smart because I told her, I said, well, she told me, she was like, go get you some wheat, stock up on some wheat, just straight up wheat, get you a grinder and you'll be good. And I was like, I never get wheat because I can't, I can't mess with it.
Hmm.
She's like, well, what? And I swear, I never thought about wheat when it came to this. She was like, well, what about your grandkids? What about your sons and your daughters and your wife and, your mom? And I was like, you got a point there. You know what I mean? Just because
Yeah.
I can't eat it. And that's something preppers need to think about too. Like, just
Hmm.
because you can't eat something
I mean, other people in
doesn't
your.
mean that you
Yep.
can use. I
Yep.
never thought that about wheat. I've thought about other stuff, just like liquor. You get liquor so you can barter it, and I don't drink liquor and stuff.
Yeah.
But but wheat. I mean, why didn't? See, it's just little things. Sometimes you slip up as a prepper, and you need somebody to tell you something.
So yeah, I mean, sometimes it's hard because especially if you've been doing it for a while, you don't think about. I don't. I say this all the time. It's like I don't film everything I'm doing all the time because I'm like, whatever, nobody wants to see this, or I don't think of videoing everything I'm doing, or
Right.
because it just seems very. I'm used to doing all this different things. Like nobody wants to see my chickens all the time. Oh no, a lot of people want to see chickens. I didn't know that. I was like, oh, okay. Or
Right.
nobody wants to see my rain barrel over here. No, a lot of people want to see that rain barrel. So, or a compost bin or whatever. So, which we've just started actually. So I can't even claim that we've been doing that for any length of time. But, if you don't, I
You
don't.
put out. If anybody hasn't seen it, I even shared it on my community. I don't know if you knew or not, but you put out that video. It was such a good idea.
Oh, the coffee grounds.
Yes, when you went
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
I can't think of the store name.
Starbucks.
Starbucks. You went to
The biggest one.
Starbucks and got a ton of coffee grains for your garden and stuff. I was like, oh, that is everybody's got a coffee shop around, and of course they just throw tons of that stuff away.
Yeah, because it's garbage.
That is such a good idea. If
Yeah.
y'all haven't thought of it, next time you're out and about or the next time you stop by Starbucks to pick up some coffee, just mention it to the people. Y'all got any old coffee grounds? Because I'll take them off your hands.
Yeah. Well, with Starbucks,
Yeah.
they usually, I knew that they would package them up because somebody had already told me, yeah, they'll put them in like a little silver packet or silver foil packet or something. They usually in like 5-pound size, and they'll give
Right.
it to you. And normally they do that. It just so happened that when we went that day to this one particular location, it was a big city. It was a very high traffic area. And Mr. wanted, he likes Starbucks. I don't drink coffee anymore. And even when I did, I didn't like Starbucks. I just didn't. I didn't like
Right.
it. But he wanted a coffee. So we ran in and got it. I said, hey, ask him for some grounds while you're in there since we're getting the compost started. He's all right. He comes out with, we weighed it and it's 27 pounds of coffee grounds. They didn't even package anything. They just pulled it out of the bag. And
That's so tight. That's
it
so
was
tight.
like, we've got coffee grounds probably till the end of time for a long time anyway. But yeah, just go in and ask them, hey, do you have any coffee grounds I can have for my garden? And Starbucks will give them to you. It's free. And
Right.
and if you go to if you get your compost started too, you can go to so you want to have like your brown material and your green material, and the brown stuff is like your twigs and dead leaves and all that kind of stuff in there, right? And plain wood and plain cardboard shredded up in there so it'll break down. Then you put your layer of your green on that. Well, if you're someplace like in an apartment or a condo or somewhere you don't have a lot of grass to mow or any grass to mow to get clippings to put in your compost bin,
Right.
go to or even if you do, you can go to like a juice bar or a smoothie place, ask them what they do with their pulp and if you can have it, and you can put that in your compost bin.
Yeah.
Now some places don't keep it inside because it gets smelly, all that fruit and everything.
Probably
They may
fruit
put it
flies and everything.
right, so they may package it up put it in whatever kind of trash bag. We found this out with one place we went to in this area, and we said, hey, can I get that? And they said, well, they called it composting. It wasn't composting. What they were doing is they were putting it in their trash bag and throwing it out in a trash bin out back, the dumpster, and the dumpster was labeled compost. I'm like, it's a trash bin. Well, it's a garbage. It's a dumpster.
Right.
But it was labeled compost. So check. I mean, I hate to tell you to dumpster dive for garbage, but
Hey.
but it'll be labeled. It should be labeled because it was like a separate. At least we were down in Austin, and it was like we were going over here and going over there, and they were like, yeah, they have separate trash dumpsters for certain things. Like this is for the newspaper and recycling and all this kind of stuff. So some areas are going to be like that. But yeah, ask places. Especially the little places, they may just give it to you.
Hey,
All that free material.
Yeah, you made me think of something by talking about that stuff. Like, this may turn some people off, and I've never done it personally, but I have seen videos. You go to these channels and they do crazy stuff. Not crazy stuff. They just do different stuff. If you're in dire means of eating and you can't find no food, you go to a grocery store. You go around back. They throw away good food all the time. You
The
can
prepared stuff, yeah, like the sandwiches and all like that.
Yeah.
Because by health code, they can only have them out for a certain length of time, and then they have to toss it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got a real good friend. He owns a flooring company. I mean, real good guy. And his dad goes around to the different stores and picks up all the day old stuff and takes it to like food banks and stuff so they can, use it for people. And they'll there'll be packages of like lunch meat. This was, I'm not sure they even have it now with the way stuff's going, but back in the days they would have, packages of turkey, packages of ham that, the date that day it ended, so they can't keep it. So he would come by there like midnight, and he'd fill up his truck, and he'd give his son some. He would take some. He had one of those food trucks, so he used some of the stuff for his food truck, but he gave like 90% of it to food banks and churches. And it'd be a ton of good food. I mean, it would be so much stuff. He would even hook me up. He'd be like, man, come on over here, man. I don't have any more room in my freezer. And he sometimes he would get so much that even the food banks would be like, look, we can't take no more. Our freezers are full.
That's awesome.
So he'd hit me up. I'd go get some packages of lunch meat. Sometimes he'd have steaks and all kinds of stuff. It'd be like,
Man.
whoa.
Yeah.
But
Now, I know that some grocery stores, now I don't know if they're still doing this. I know that Kroger did this for a long time. And if anybody has a Kroger near them, I'm not near a Kroger anymore. I used to go to Kroger's when I was on the East Coast, and Kroger used to have a thing of, if it was expired, if it was expired on the shelf, if you found it's expired, like a package of meat or whatever product, I think it was they had to give it to you. If you picked it up and it was expired, because my brother went in and cleaned them out one night. He went in there. He knew because he had worked there for a little while. And so he knew when they went in, because it used to be a 24-hour. Right now, I don't know if anything's 24-hour anymore. But,
right,
he knew when they would go in there, and he'd be like, nah, at night, they're not doing it. So technically, he went in at like 1 a.m. or something like that. So it was
yes,
next day,
indeed,
and they hadn't gone in and cleaned it out yet, because nobody's shopping at 1 a.m. He
yep,
went in there, and and he didn't have nothing. So he came out of there with a bunch of, like I said, packs of steak and stuff. He said
yeah,
they were not happy about it. And he says,
yeah,
well, he said they were pretty pissed off that they had to do it. But, I was like, well, they're going to toss it anyway, or donate it. And I mean, honestly, he was in need. He didn't have anything. He didn't have any food. He had some after that, but
You know
you
what
know,
else you can do that it's around here. I'm not sure if in other places, but anybody who would live on the water, we eat a lot of crabs during the summer. This summer has been the least amount of crabs we've ever ate. We've been so concentrated on buying food that we can preserve and stuff. Like, we didn't want to waste that money on crabs. Crabs are super expensive this year, so we were like, if we could get crabs and eat twice, or we could go and get $150 worth of groceries that we could actually can and do it.
yeah,
But what you can do is you can go to like 7-Elevens, these little convenience stores, like the day after a newspaper comes out. Like if your normal newspaper comes out on a Tuesday, or the Sunday paper, if you go to these stores a day later, 2 days later, you can ask them, hey, man, because you use a lot of newspaper when you eat crab. So this is
hmm
how I learned this. You can go to them and they'll have a whole stack of newspapers that's, 3-4 days old, that they just have sitting waiting to go into the recycle bin or whatever they do with them. And they'll give them all to you. Now, if you go into those newspapers, there'll be a ton of coupons.
hmm
Then boom, and you know what I'm saying. So if there's ways to work around being broke and getting some stuff, you know what I'm saying. You can mess around and get 6 coupons for $3 off of Tide. Then you go to Walgreens, where usually there's certain stuff at Walgreens that's on sale that you won't find on sale at Walmart and stuff. Because who the hell goes to Walgreens to pick up Tide laundry detergent? So they put it on a mass sale. They drop $5 off of it. You got a coupon that's $3 off. You got 8 of them. You could pick up a whole ton of laundry detergent and spend like $20 on Tide. This is the truth. Like, this is no.
hmm
I've done this. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little way. It just popped up in my head because we're going through all these things, and it just leads to another thing. You know what I'm saying?
No, but it's good stuff to know. I mean, we're heading into some. I was about to say we're heading into hard times. I think we're in hard times. I think it's
Yeah.
it's going to be harder faster for people who are having a tough time anyway. I was saying earlier that I'm already seeing people posting and talking about, that chicken's getting too expensive in their area. And chicken is like some of the cheapest, least expensive meat out there,
Yeah. It
And
used to be the dirt cheap meat.
yeah,
Like,
it did. It used to be
growing
real
up.
cheap. Yeah, but they
Yeah,
talked
growing.
about they were saying that it was just too expensive in their area, and so they were cutting back on how frequently how often they're eating it, because they can't afford it. And I wasn't expecting to see that so soon.
Yeah.
Talking about, I grew up a certain way, and I worked hard my whole life to make sure, or to try to make sure, I don't wind up back in that kind of same situation, or at least prolong it. Try to ensure that I won't.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you forget a lot of times how close people are, or how close you can be
Yeah.
to that. So it really, it kind of hit me, a little
And
bit. I
it's
was like,
not your
damn,
fault. That's what's so bad
no,
about right now, is that
no,
it's not because somebody won't work.
no,
It's not
it's
your
not.
fault.
Right,
And
right.
that's what sucks about it. Just like you said, you work where we come from, having such, a hard time at times. we do work so hard to change our lives and be better and do better for our kids, and then boom, we get put in a situation like this, and it's like all this time I've been
Yeah.
fighting to stay away from this, and here it is. I
Here,
might
yeah.
end up back in that position because of our government, because
Yeah.
of what the elites are doing.
Right.
It's sickening.
Yeah. But shoot, I was going to say something. I totally
I'm
forgot.
sorry.
No, you got me right there. I'm like, yeah. And I was like, I forgot what I was going to say. It flew out of my head. I don't
Squirrel,
know. Yeah,
squirrel.
yeah, I got squirrels in my head for sure. I'm like, I forgot. I'll probably remember tomorrow and be like, oh yeah, I was going to say that.
I don't mean to be. We're not trying to ignore the chat at all. You know what I'm saying? It's just, me and Sandwich get to talking and going back and forth. I'm sitting over here. I'm reading all y'all's stuff.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye
We
on.
with y'all. We just getting into some convo. Trying to get some information out there. Bounce back and forth. Do the damn thing. Y'all know how it is.
Lady Hammer, let's see. Have I heard about the food banks wanting extra stuff in Central Texas? I haven't, but I don't doubt it. Food banks have been looking for stuff since last year. I remember seeing the lines. I don't know if you saw in the news in San Antonio, the food banks. I mean, I think we
What?
all saw across the nation food banks with lines, miles long, and people trying to get
Oh, there
boxes
it
of
is.
food and trying to get different stuff. Sorry, I'd scrolled up a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
So,
I was like, let me find that. She's talking
yeah.
about it.
No, I don't doubt it. There was a few years back when Mr. and I used to live over, when Mr., my husband, was still active duty and we were stationed at Fort Hood, there was a food bank that got set up there. And I remember we were living, like we were living off post, but we were in the area around Fort Hood. And I remember there was a food bank that started up and they were getting donations and stuff. And I remember a lot of the people who were like in the rural areas or outlying areas wanting to donate eggs to them and they wouldn't take them at first. And I thought, why not? There's nothing wrong with them. They're eggs. Well, then
Right.
it got to a point where they needed food bad enough. At some point, they finally said, yeah, we'll accept eggs from the farmers, people who were, had backyard chickens or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought, you ought to. That's food. It's excess that they're trying to give you, and they wouldn't take it. I think sometimes I think of stuff like that now, and I think, I wonder if that food bank is still accepting those eggs, or if they're still trying to say, no, we can't take that because it didn't come from a
Right.
store.
Well, I know around here they will accept, not every place, but a lot of places will accept deer meat. The hunters will bring them
Oh,
deer,
wow.
fish. A lot of
Yeah.
fish get caught around here, so they'll accept fish as long as it's perfect. You know what I mean? But I
Right.
do want to say something. It reminded me of something talking about them eggs. This is 100% true. And we had the salmonella outbreak and all this. Today I cooked up some fried potatoes and I made some eggs. And when I popped the eggs out into the pan to fry them up, something smelled funny.
They're
And I
off.
was like, and they looked perfect. They cooked up perfect. And I just could not get that. It wasn't a strong smell. It was very, very slight. But I was like, nah. I cooked up 3 eggs and I didn't even eat them.
Yeah,
I was like,
don't.
nah. And it's, be careful, y'all, because I don't know if these eggs were bad or not, but they were, they're far from the ending date. We just got them. And we don't know what they're doing right now. I mean, with this salmonella, with all this stuff on these ships, with having to hire people that haven't been around a lot in their jobs. I mean, they're hiring a lot of people that have never worked these jobs before because the good people are saying, forget this, I'm out. So you really have to be careful with everything. If you get a gut instinct about something, if you buy something and it's some food or something and it don't smell right, it don't look right, something just
Don't eat it.
rubs you the wrong way, get rid of it because there's
Yeah.
a lot of sickness going on that they ain't even talking about.
Yeah. Well, you just don't want to get bad food because you don't want to be that kind of sick. Trust me.
Yeah,
You don't want to be sick from some bad food.
yeah,
Just not to change subjects real quick. I just saw Tiger here talking about the January 4th deadline. I saw that. There's now the mandate for businesses is January 4th
yeah.
is
January
what the
4th.
administration has said. Yeah, they've got until
All businesses over 100 employees, right?
January 4th
Private or
deadline
not.
for healthcare workers and employees of federal contractors. So my employer is a federal contractor, so I've been waiting to see if we're going to be told anything because I don't know. I work from
It,
home and I'm in Texas, and our governor has said that if you're in Texas, you don't have to comply. So we'll
Right.
see. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Hopefully y'all stick by y'all's guns. You know what I mean?
It's going to be a big battle, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Can I come at you with something? It's a conspiracy theory, and it's
Yeah.
real tricky. I can't say the words at all. Like I probably
Okay.
shouldn't be talking about this.
Oh, well, then we should talk about it.
I know. And
Let's talk about it.
another thing is I want to make sure that everybody in the chat and everybody who watches this on Sunday when I re-release it, don't think that I'm trying to push something or get y'all to do something, because I'm really not. It's just something came up. I seen a sentence in a comment and it made me go off on this weird thought process, because you do that. But it's about the thing.
Okay.
Now, this is just conspiracy. This is just something that I thought. I even hit POTB with it today, and I was like, dude, I want to talk. I want to just mention this because it's an interesting conspiracy theory. But I'm scared that people might think that I'm trying to push something, and I'm not whatsoever, because I believe in complete rights of everybody, and I think everybody should have a freedom of choice, especially with their body. But listen to this.
All right.
So the thing pops off in 2020, right? Mm-hmm. And it could have been a lab, and it could have been built by humans, and it could have been a bio WEA
Yeah.
pawn. You know what I'm saying? WEA pawn.
Yeah.
So that comes out. Well, and then boom, our country goes buck crazy trying to get every single person to take this thing, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this is just a what if. Mm-hmm. What if the reason behind, because come on, why in the hell are they so crazy about pushing this thing? You know what I'm saying? And that's not the question. It's a rhetorical question. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I mean, it is bonkers the way they're trying to get everybody to get. I mean, they're trying to get everybody to get this thing, right? Mm-hmm. What if retaliation is on the mind of this country, and boom, bam, bip? That's why they're trying to get everybody to take it, because there's going to be retaliation, and we're having a WR against another country, and we're getting ready to do the same thing that they did. But in this
and
thing,
our
and they wouldn't say it because it's totally against, war. There's laws with war too.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So you there's things that you can't do
rules
no
of
matter
engagement
what.
and Geneva Convention and all kinds of.
Right. But one country, if they really did that, and they think that,
If they released it, and now ours is to protect us from what we're about to give it back.
you know what I'm
From
saying?
one good, you're saying one good turn deserves another, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. Wouldn't that be some shit? And the thing about it
Yeah.
is they would also be hitting up the people that don't, and that are non-obedient. Let's say that non-obedient, they would be hitting them up too. They'd be wiping out the enemy in that sense. Ooh, that's deep. I hope I don't get a strike for this. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I need to get my doll out with the tinfoil hat and be like,
Yeah.
That's a neat thought. It's a little tinfoil at this point. You know what? It'd have to be a lot more tinfoily for me to be like, I don't know.
I don't know neither. I mean, I
know.
don't.
It's an interesting thought. It really is. It's an interesting thought.
The only reason I can think about something like this is because they are so damn crooked. Our government is so ruthless, and
all governments are. It's not just ours. We're just
I feel you,
acknowledging it.
But I could see our government doing some shit like that. Like, okay, y'all want to play around, do you? All right, but we're gonna have an accident too. Then we're gonna have some weird soup happen. You know what I'm saying? Tit for tat, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Or
Excuse my language.
No, or you're not getting your coal from Australia anymore. Oh, you're gonna get it from us. Well, you know what? Now maybe we're gonna withhold that coal.
Yeah.
Oh, that was something that that channel was talking about Sage News he was talking about, and I went, oh shit, I didn't think of that. I didn't even realize they were getting coal from us.
Damn.
But
I
yeah,
didn't either. I need
yeah,
to watch more
yeah.
Sage, man. I can't
Watch
catch
him.
all.
I'm
He
serious.
puts out a lot. I can't
He
catch it all.
does. He does.
I catch.
He
He
does a
hit me
lot
up.
every day. He puts a lot out, but it's like he puts the topics at least, like instead of doing like an hour long, he'll break it up and be like, okay, this first 20-minute one is about this. Okay, now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna record something else, and it's gonna be about this other thing over here. So if you don't want to hear listen through an hour of everything, you can pick out what you want to listen to. But anyhow, no,
Right.
yeah, he was talking about that, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, if we withhold the coal because the potato in chief is shooting his mouth off lately, which I know a lot of people are like, who cares? He doesn't know what he's talking about. No, but he is reading off the teleprompter for whoever is telling him to say
Yeah.
these things. There.
Yeah.
But no, it's an interesting theory. That's an interesting thought.
I do want to say something about Sage though, because
Mm-hmm.
sooner or later, me and him might hook up and do a live together, man. And
You
I'd
should.
love to.
Yeah,
I'm a little intimidated though, because dude is on top of his game, and like
he's
I'm not
awesome.
really,
His
I'm
channel
not
is like
really,
taken off,
because he gets into it, man. That dude's
Yeah.
good at breaking stuff down and stuff, and that's why I'm kind of hesitant a little bit, because like, dude, I can't hang, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, he seems
I talk
pretty cool.
bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, talk to him and tell him that. Be like, hey, just hang out and talk.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
definitely knows what the hell he's talking about. He does stuff with Rage in the Cage and Economic Ninja, and interviews people.
Yeah,
It's like
he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude.
yeah. But yeah, Cole, and I went, oh fuck, that would get real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you see where Potato was talking smack? I call it talking smack, or trying to talk shit about where that meeting was he was at in Glasgow, because the heads of China and Russia didn't show up. So he's like, why aren't you here? I'm like, saying, you need to shut up and sit down. Quit picking a fight.
Yeah.
You need to
Go
shut up
back
and
to
sit
sleep,
down. Somebody get this man some ice cream.
please.
No, I saw that and I was like, shut up, quit poking. Don't poke the bear.
Do you
You hear
do
me,
you
guys? Don't poke the bear. Don't do that.
do you think that the coal could actually be linked up to this? Hey, 1.4 million people, go out and get a bunch of food, batteries, and lights.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you think that maybe China
Possibly.
knows that we're getting ready to cut them off of some stuff, and
I
they're
would
going to
think it
cut
would
us
be.
off?
I would. Oh man, we better pray that China don't cut us off. We better pray that doesn't happen. That would be. I don't think the
Or it'd
American
be
people really.
catastrophic.
I don't think we
Catastrophic.
fully. Yeah, that too. I don't
Yeah.
think we fully recognize just how much comes from China. Yeah, do we have a lot here in the U.S. that we produce? Yes, we do produce some things. We do. Do we have our own oil? Yes, we do. Do we produce some of our own food? Yes, we do. However, the majority of what we get does come from overseas. We've outsourced it to other countries, to China. I mean, a lot of other countries have as well. That's part of why China is so freaking backed up right now in their ports. They're,
Yeah.
6 times worse than we are right now, because
Right.
they've been having these controlled closures, in different ports here and there. And so their ports are backed up and backed up and backed up for everyone sending them empty containers back, sending them raw materials to here, make me some more stuff. We don't realize just how much we get from other countries that we have actually outsourced from the U.S.
Yeah.
And we better pray that,
I heard something, and it related to me 100%, and I'll tell it real quick. I heard somebody talking about that they're getting, I'm just going to say it, they're getting medications, and it seems to be a little off. Maybe it's changed a little bit. Maybe it's not quite doing what it's supposed to do and stuff, or it's not doing it as good.
Yeah.
And they were saying that it could be because they can't get this from them, so they might have to get it from them, and it's a different.
Yeah, the
And
formula's
that is
changed a little bit. Yeah. Or if
that
they're
had,
sourcing different materials. Yeah.
and it's happening to me with mine. I
Really?
can tell a
Oh, man.
complete difference, and it's weird. And
I'm
I'm
sorry
just
to hear
like,
that.
man. I mean, I'm still okay. I'm still good, but it has
But you can
there
tell.
is a difference. There is a definitely 100%. There's a difference.
See, it was a matter of time before that happened. You're the first one I've heard of. I was waiting to see when I would start seeing the chatter across the across the interwebs of people talking about noticing that. As far as prescription stuff, the only thing I've been seeing is not well. I started saying not so much a shortage, but there is a little bit of shortage, not on any one particular thing, but basic stuff, antibiotics, blood pressure medications. But it's short in that maybe one retail location, like a pharmacy, your retail pharmacy, think of the big ones, CVS, Walgreens, whatever, Rite Aid. Maybe a location doesn't have enough. It isn't that they're out entirely, it's that they don't have enough to fill your prescription.
Yeah.
So you've got to call around, or you got to go to another store or another location to find
I've
someone
waited
that's got
week.
enough.
I've
Yeah.
waited a week. I've waited 10 days
Yeah. Oh,
on
man.
some stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's no good. So I've been seeing
Yeah.
more and more of that, and I've been seeing people who work in pharmacy techs, pharmacists, people who work in retail talking about that, posting and venting and forums that were made, set up for their profession, and they're venting and talking shop, and I join stuff like that, and I loiter, and I encourage other people to sit and just keep your mouth shut. Just keep your mouth shut, and you will get a lot of information,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I like is information.
Yeah.
But,
Me too. And I rely on y'all to do it. Like even when in my live Tuesday, I don't know if you were still there or not, but I was like, Sandwich, look into this because I know you know how to dig deep. So,
oh, I don't
I
remember. I
forget
was
what it
probably
was
already gone.
about, but
But, yeah,
yes,
so as
indeed.
far as medications, it's probably just a matter of time before that happens. With food products, I was saying this earlier too, the formulations for or recipes, whatever you want to call it, for a lot of food items have been changing. A lot of non-food items too. Sometimes they have to cut corners, and it's maybe either just to try and save money, or it's because wherever they got the raw material from before, whether it's maybe something that goes in their can of soup, or it's something that goes into making a part, for
Baloney.
a machine. Maybe where they sourced it before, they don't have any more of that raw material, or it's so expensive now, it's cost prohibitive without really jacking up the price, or they just, there could be a lot of reasons there, or it could be all of the above. So they go and they source it from another location, and maybe the quality is just not quite there. It's not that good quality, it's a lesser quality. It's
I know for a fact for a couple months bologna was not the same whatsoever. I eat bologna sandwiches. I love bologna, and it was complete. It had little hard white chunks in it.
yeah,
It,
yeah.
it was it. I didn't think it would ever come back. And just here in the past, like probably 4 weeks, it's back to the regular bologna again. But I get the
Mhm.
good stuff. I guess it's Oscar Mayer or something. I'm not sure what it is. It's the good bologna.
Yeah.
It was completely different for months. It would change colors and everything. I was like, man, this is not what we usually did. Something's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, if they have a run where they've had to temporarily source from another buyer, if they had to
Yeah,
buy from another source, then you're gonna
yeah,
have a big run of, where it's changed like that until they can go back to it, or it stays that way.
yeah.
I've been seeing stuff like, shelving units, and, just all kinds of stuff where I'm thinking shelving units in particular, because 'cause I'm looking at one right now, and I talked about one time shelving unit that I got last year when it was still, there was still the current product was out, stuff that had been made before we started having even more problems.
Right,
Good quality, metal's nice and thick, the shelves are sturdy. I said, I'm gonna order us another one of those. We need another shelving unit. So I went back to order it. And I always read reviews, and I tell all my subs, I tell people, listen, always read reviews. Mister has a habit of, he just looks at it and he's like, oh, it's got 4.5 stars out of 5. It's good. I said, no, 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 no. Read those
nah,
reviews, and
yes,
don't
indeed,
don't read just the best ones. Read the most recent, because
yes,
if there's been a change in the run, a change in the product, you're going to see a whole bunch of recent reviews, people saying this is crap, and that's exactly what happened. And what had
yep,
happened with the shelving unit was they changed it so that the metal was not as thick. They took out one of the support, not a support beam, but like one of the little support things in the shelf,
right,
but said it could still hold the same amount of weight safely. And I went, no.
yeah, nah, you can't take nah.
And it was much higher price. Of course, it had gone up a lot,
So they take
So
away from it and raise the price way up, and then tell
yeah,
you it's a exact.
but it's still the
That,
same.
no, no,
Well, and it may technically still be able to, because they have to run all this stuff past their not safety, but like quality control people, and they have to make sure it's still within. If it's still within their specs, it may be on the low end, but it's
But
still
it's
within their
definitely not as
range.
strong as it used to be.
No, it's not. It's not that high quality, and
Right.
we're now seeing that with everything across the board, food, drinks, you know, just all kinds of goods. We're seeing that. So yeah, I've
Yep.
been shouting from the hilltops, read those reviews, be careful what you're buying because, it used to be you get what you pay for. Not anymore. Now it's you don't know what you're going to get. You got to be
Yep.
careful,
Yep.
So,
And find out where it's coming from too, if you can. I mean,
oh, it's all
sometimes
coming
you
from China.
can't, but
Yeah.
there's a lot you can look around, and I didn't used to, but now especially these past 2 years, because I've done a lot of Amazon shopping. So
Hmm.
I read probably almost, unless there's 5,000, but I read the hell out of the reviews,
Hmm.
and I try to find out where, and I also look at what I'm buying. And when you scroll down, the good stuff will have nice advertisements explaining every little thing about it with different pictures. And you click on something and there's only one picture of it and they ain't talking about it at all. It's some cheap stuff that they ain't trying to tell you nothing about. Just be dumb and buy it. And I'm like, nah, I check the hell out of everything I'm buying now. Because I've gotten duped. I've gotten duped on some
Oh
stuff.
yeah, everybody has. You always get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been taken by some stuff. I'm like, oh, that looks good, and get it. I'm like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. And it sucks. It's like
Mm-hmm.
$40 gone. You'll never get it back.
Well, we spend the money for Prime, so I don't buy anything. I try not to unless I can get it with the returns because it's like I'm gonna send this shit. I want my money back.
Yeah, I thought all
No,
Prime stuff was returnable, and we
no,
we
it's
bought
not.
we bought two masks for Halloween because I was going to do
Yeah,
some Halloween stuff. Ordered them. It was $40 for two of the purge masks. Got them in. I'm all excited. I opened it up. I put it on my face, and it was like it didn't fit my face at all. It was too small. So I was like, just send them back. This sucks. It's ruined. Damn it. Couldn't send them back. $40 down the drain.
dang.
I was
Yeah,
like, "What? We're Prime members. How the hell can you not send something back?" And nope, I didn't read. It's clearly on there. Cannot
yeah,
send it back. And I was like, "You got to be kidding me." It sucked.
yeah. No, I had that happen once. That's how I learned. I was like, what? What do you mean? I got Prime, sucker. It's like
Yeah.
shit. So yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. It was something I was going to ask you. Let me see if I can find this. Did you see? I just saw this real quick. Maybe somebody in the chat knows about this. POTB or somebody native, one of y'all. I saw something about what is this? I heard about Iran has hijacked a Vietnamese tanker. What the heck's going on over there?
A Vietnamese tanker.
Yeah, like oil tanker or something like that. I was like,
Who was talking about it?
I saw it someplace on. I don't know. I've got multiple windows open.
No, I ain't
But I
heard
saw it
nothing
where
about that.
supposedly Iran hijacked a Vietnamese tanker. I'm like, what the,
What?
what the, what? And that's what I said. What? So has anyone else heard about this?
I seen something about. They said that the U.S. tried to seize an Iranian tanker.
Oh, did we? Oh,
I
maybe that's
I
what it
didn't
was.
click on it, but
And I was like, why would they take a Vietnamese tanker?
and they didn't get to do it. They said they thought I forget what the word was, but I forget what the thumbnail. It was thumbnail and the title, and it said the U.S. tried to seize a Iranian tanker in some sea, but they didn't end up doing it. They weren't able to do it. I don't know.
Well, POTB says that, yeah, I saw that North Korea told citizens to eat less for a few years. That's terrible.
For a few years, and they're
Iran.
already eating less. How the hell are they going to eat less? You know what I mean? North Korea, they're already starving. What the hell?
Pot B says Iran did seize it. They did, huh? Interesting.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get Nisi to look into that.
Mhm.
Nisi's half Vietnamese.
Oh, really?
Yeah, her mom's 100% Vietnamese. Her mom met her dad over in the war, and they
Oh,
ended
yeah.
up married and came over here.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of guys met their love of their life and came back. That happens a lot of
yeah,
times when you get stationed somewhere,
yep, yep.
Let's see here.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
that
Tiger
right, Roots.
Tiger says now you just pay for what you get. That's pretty much it. You gotta be careful what you're getting. Yeah, this
Yeah,
grand solar minimum. I
no
saw
doubt.
something else. It's like, man, there's so much out there. I don't know how you feel as a creator, but sometimes I feel like there's just so damn much going on. It's like I feel like it started off as like, I got a plate and I got a few things on my plate and I can keep up with this is going on and that's going on. Now it's just, there's so much. It's like I could have a whole table and it's just too much. There's everything everywhere. When
Yeah,
people ask me, hey, have you seen this? Do you know about that? I'm like, I have no idea. Tell me. And I'll,
right.
or I just
It
happened to
is
see
too
this
much.
headline like this. Is like, I just saw this headline before I came on. Who knows what about it? What the hell's going on?
I don't know how channels, these channels that do nothing but news and stuff,
Yeah.
they must spend 24/7
That's it.
constantly just reading.
Yeah, I mean, the channel has got to be, that's their job. I mean, that
Yeah,
because it's got to be, because that's the only way you could. Man, Southern Prepper 1. That it,
yeah,
man, he's on it. He's on it. I know that's not his job, but it's like, man, he
yes.
beats a lot of people with getting the news out there, and
Do you
it's
know
like,
he
he's
said
awesome.
he said today that he said something about he's been on YouTube for 11 years.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he said for all the people that's been with me this entire 11 years or something like that. I was like, wow. And I
Wow.
know there's other channels that have been here a long time too. Angry Prepper, Urban
Yeah.
Prepper, Canadian Prepper, City Prepping.
Right.
But man, I can't imagine. Can you imagine where we'll be 10 years from now if we keep doing YouTube the way that we're
Dude,
doing and everything, man? It'll be crazy.
I don't know if the tube will let us keep doing what we're doing.
I know, I know. That's
Yeah,
scary, ain't it?
I don't know. You know, kind of run along that vein. I got an email from Google that says, and anyone who has Google email has Gmail, says they're going to start doing a two-step authentication so
Yeah.
they can verify it's you. And I was like, oh, this is how they're going to. Here's my tinfoil. This is how they're going to do it. This is how they're
I,
going to tie the YouTube channel so they know who's who. So you can
yeah.
shut down your channel and shut down your email, and you can't,
Yeah, we had to do it. It kept
because you.
popping up on my stuff, and I think it was like November 1st or something. You had to do it by November 1st. So I just told him, I was like, go ahead and do whatever it is that you got to do. I don't, I mean, what are you going to do?
9th. Yeah, let's see. I think it is by November 9th is what I've got. So you got to link your phone number with it. I was like, oh, that's what it's going to do then. Let me go get me a fake phone number.
Right,
Let me go
right.
get a Google number.
But at this point,
Yeah, I
they know
mean,
everything about us so much. I
that's
mean,
true. I mean, there are no
it's
secrets really. You're not.
no,
Nobody's truly anonymous. Not really. There are things you can hide behind, like a VPN and different things like that. But
yeah,
if somebody really wants to find you, they'll find you. I
yeah.
mean, if the NSA wants to listen, they're gonna listen. Let's get real. Can't keep up with just watch. Oh, I know. I can't either. There's so many. Yeah. I can't imagine recording them either. I do mostly lives because
I
I
try to
just
just pick certain channels that really I can pay attention. I have a hard time paying anybody that knows me. I can't. I go squirrel all my life, every day, all day long. I'm here, there, everywhere, and it's the channels that I can really focus in on, and they keep my attention. And that's who I try to stick with when it comes to news. I make sure that they put out real stuff.
hmm
Even if they do a little bit of conspiracy, they tell you that it's conspiracy and it's not, do your own research type of stuff.
yeah.
But I try to stick to a couple channels when it comes to news, and then boom, and of course, people that we're close with, because, we got a lot of people that we're close with in this community, and you can pick up a lot of information that way too.
All right, it just fell into the chat. Lady Hammer says Russia and China both told their citizens to stock up. Really, Russia
Russia
too?
too?
Oh shit. See, that makes me more concerned with Russia and China together, because especially after Potato talking shit at the Glasgow conference. Well, he's saying,
But America has to tell when everybody else does it. America's gonna have to come out and say something. I mean, but everybody watches that shit right there. I mean, no matter who you are, there's people that see that and like, man, that's weird. Every other country is telling people to stock up, but our country ain't. Like,
I mean,
something's
most they
up
said
here.
was, you might want to Christmas shop early. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
you're telling us to go buy toys. These people are telling their people to go buy food and lights and batteries. Like, what's
Yeah,
going on here?
Well, freaking Germany telling their people how to stay warm and how to cook with no electricity this winter.
Yeah, what's
You
up with
know,
what is going? Are they? What
uh,
scares? And they talked about China having that new EMP weapon that doesn't need nuclear. Did you hear about that?
it's
Yeah,
an
China.
EMP weapon. It's not
It's
a.
a yeah, it's an EMP weapon, and it takes no nuclear to use it. I don't know if
Hmm.
anybody in the chat has heard about that, but I did hear it, and it was a reputable source. I forget who it was, but I remember hanging on to it because it wasn't somebody bullshitting. You know what I mean? China has actually said that they have this new technology weapon that can cause an EMP, and it's not nuclear whatsoever. Now that's scary.
Let's see here. I just grabbed something real quick. This was from September of this year. It says China used an EMP weapon to destroy a large drone at 1,500 meters. It was an EMP, electromagnetic pulse weapon. Okay. First time that they've tested the technology. Took down a large unmanned aircraft. Let's see here. Details are unknown, but they think it's their first time experimenting with it. Huh. That's about all I got here, real quick.
Who?
Interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Huh.
That too.
Mm.
Hypersonic. Yep. Crazy times, man. Crazy times, and with so much beef going on. I mean, don't you think this is way worse than when we were kids and we had to worry about the Cold War and
Well, shit,
Russia
all
and
we had to worry
Reagan?
about, yes, and the only thing going on with Russia was, I mean, nobody was really going to fire on each other. Not really. It was,
Right. And they
not
weren't
really.
talking. I mean, there's a
Two
lot of
superpowers. I mean, the US was a superpower, Russia, the USSR, I should say. USSR was a superpower. We're the two big dogs of the world, and now that's not the case, you
it's like
know.
a bunch. It's the world hating. Everybody's got powers now.
Yeah.
I mean, even the brokest, most poorest country has nukes. Look at North Korea. I
Hmm.
mean, you got Iran. I heard something about. They said that I think it was Potato was saying you have to look forward to a future with Iran having nukes. Am I right, Native?
That's all we need is freaking Iran to. Mm.
I mean,
Iran's
it's just
crazy. Just saying.
yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm just gonna say Iran's crazy.
yes,
Iran's crazy.
sir. I don't know
It,
what's going to happen, man.
I don't know.
All
I
these
mean,
countries telling people. I mean, the first thing that pops in my mind is WW3. When all the countries are telling their citizens you need to be a prepper, because that's what pretty much what they're saying is you need to be a prepper.
hmm
You're telling. I mean, how many people are in Russia? You're telling 1.4 in China, and other people are telling other places are saying the same thing. You're telling the whole world to turn into a prepper for the next year, some places the next couple years. I mean, come on, that's not no joke. That no
you're telling your
government tells
citizens,
people to take care of themselves like that.
you're telling your people get ready, but
Yeah.
you're not telling them exactly what to get ready for, which leaves I'm gonna go ahead and put my tinfoil hat on. I don't go for the tinfoil, but it's like I don't think it's tinfoil if it's a real possibility. I mean, not really. Taking a passive stance with all our, yeah. Who was it that recently didn't North Korea recently test some intercontinental, or they have intercontinental? No, no, no. Who is it? Oh, wait, wait, wait. No, China. That's what it was. Mister told me this. He says that China's got intercontinental that can. No, what did he say they've got that can dodge?
That's oh, it's something different
They can
then.
They can evade. They can evade.
Oh yeah, I heard something about that too.
Yes, and I was like, "Are you shitting me?" He's no. They can evade. So we can't shoot them down. Crap.
I
Let me
I
look.
I,
I'm gonna
I
text
don't.
him in the next room. And be like, "What were you telling me?" Because I was thinking it's not North Korea. Let's see here.
And that's how it works. Like that's where superpowers come from. Like when you all of a sudden have a huge bump in your technology and you come up with war systems way better than anybody else has ever had.
I mean,
And
it's
we're
just a
not
matter of
always going
time.
to be the ones to have it.
Exactly. I mean, it was just a matter of time before somebody developed that. But you never want to hear that it's somebody who's not on your side, right? Or that it's not
Right.
you that has it. Yeah,
And
it's
an
smart
enemy.
thinking, Native. Yeah.
Yep. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. Only thing I can say is be prepared. This ain't the government tell you, but this is me and Lucky Dame telling you, get prepared.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself,
Yeah.
please.
Look, oh, I don't know if you watch him or not. I was talking about him earlier. Lead Farmer 73. I really like his channel. I like him. He put that video out yesterday morning, to light a fire under everyone's ass while he's putting his shoes on to go out the door and take care of some stuff, because he had not heard until that moment about China telling their people, you need to go get stuff. And he went, whoa. And that same thing I did. I was like, wait, what? What? No. That's not good. That's really very bad.
Right, right.
I'd put the link over on mine, but I was like, I'm encouraging people, go watch that. You need to prepare.
Any grown up in the United States that hears that should just be completely shocked. Like that's what surprises me is people don't pick up on stuff. I know a lot of us do, and especially in this community, but there's a lot of people out here that would hear that or read that and be like, oh, okay, so they told their people get some food and move on to the next thing. No, that's a very powerful statement.
Yeah, there's more
It's
to it than just,
huge.
they just need to get food. No,
No.
there's a lot more to that. Okay, sorry, mister, just text me. Hypersonic ballistic missile. That's what it is China's got. And it can dodge us shooting it down. It's nuclear.
It goes so fast. The defense wouldn't be able to catch it. I think that's what it is. Like
it can dodge, because when we launch to take it down, it's only, anyway, yeah, I'm not going to mess it up. I'm sure probably Native or somebody in POTB could explain it better than I can.
I wonder if it'll dance around it, like it would actually dodge it.
Mister says it dodges. Like if we launch our missiles to destroy it, take down, so they launch at us to
hit it with the stiff arm. I'm not trying to joke about it, but I was thinking that it might just be too fast.
They lob a nuclear bomb our way, or a nuclear missile our way, and we try to shoot it down, right?
Right.
And so we can only shoot straight, for example. All right, that's not, I'm super simplistic here, but basically that we shoot, and it can only go, the trajectory only puts it, so it's on a collision course, right, to take it out. Well, theirs can now sense somehow or another wherever it is and basically moves out of the way, and ours just keeps going by. So it doesn't. So it knows how to get the fuck out of the way. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And why don't we have that? That's what's even crazier. All this stuff coming out. Everybody else has got stuff, and we ain't got shit. What's going on here?
Well, like what Native has just said here, the scariest part is not that they made them, it's that the only reason why they would have developed this type of weapon.
Right.
Why would you even,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of... Get the anxiety up. Let's see here. Nuclear capable hypersonic missile. Now, see, Mister's in the other room sending me links now.
Yeah.
You want to tell me about it? Yeah. Yeah, but that's what it is. And I went, what?
I'm telling. If anybody ain't following Sandwich, I mean, I'm very surprised. I've known you a while. Ever since I started, you've always been. Before you had your channel running and stuff, you was in my chats and stuff. We always hung out. I'm like, really, I watch your lives every time, and you have such great input, such great thoughts about things. You don't play like you said earlier today, you don't play the tinfoil thing. You try to be reasonable and objective and all. You're really, really a great channel to get information from. And like when you pick up something from somebody else, you give them the shout out on it. You're like, look, so-and-so said this, I looked into it, boom, bam, bip, here's my thoughts on it. I hope that your voice and your channel gets out there to more people, because it's really good. It really is.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Well, I keep saying it's like, I figured it's like, I think I'm shadow banned because I say the naughty words. That's like, I'm a little bit surprised I haven't gotten a strike so far. I don't say them all the time, but I'll say them, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I mean, Yeah, me too, Native,
But don't
actually.
stop. Don't stop because you really are one of
No.
the channels that will sit there for 2 hours and talk prepping and talk
Yeah.
different ways of prepping that I've learned so much by listening to you. You just don't, every time I watch one of your lives, there's something or some things that you talk about that I'm like, damn, I've never thought in 20 years, I've never thought of that simple thing right there. You know
Nice.
what I'm saying? It'd be
Yeah.
something little, something big. I mean, but it's sometimes it's the simplest things and it could help you so much in life if you just thought about that.
That's how I feel going on other people's channels too. I listen and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I didn't even think of that, you know? That's
Yeah.
why we're all here,
Yeah.
you know. It's like, I mean, that's why we put these channels up is to help people learn, you know? Yeah, it's fun
Yeah.
and we hang out and we have a good time and we laugh because we need to, you know?
Right.
That's a lot of my lives are pretty, I always say they're kind of loosey goosey because we kind of
Yeah, they're
need it to be
fun.
sometimes, you know? We need to kind of keep it loose.
But that's what's
But we
so
also
great
need to
about it.
talk about it. We also need to have a conversation about why the hell you need to be prepared, and you
Yeah.
need to pay attention to China telling a communist nation telling their country, "You need to get prepared. You need to go get some food because we ain't got this." That's
Yeah.
huge. I mean,
But that's
I
something
can't even.
that's something I do want to throw out there because maybe I didn't get that point across, but you give great. I'm getting ready to talk to the chat and just to chat and talk like you ain't even here with me. But you
Alright.
you put out great information. You all the things that I said, but it's also fun. Everybody has fun in your chats and fun talking, and you engage with your chat so well. You do. You're one of the best at it. You hang out with the chat. And you know what I'm saying? Like your foot, you go. I see you. You check every little thing said. You're right there with them. Like it's fucking awesome.
That's because I
So
like to
just
socialize. I like to run
anybody.
my mouth, so it works out.
Right, right. But hey, this is perfect for it. You know what I mean? You were built for this sandwich.
I don't know. Some days, you know, I'll be like super honest. It's like I get so frustrated sometimes, just in preparedness in general. And, you know, maybe other creators feel this way sometimes too. You know, I feel like especially, you know, I talked about earlier today, I just had this moment in the grocery store where, yeah, it is disgusting. Our military's been cut back.
Yeah.
We are not in a good position. That's why I was like, when I said earlier, don't poke the bear, if you didn't catch that reference, the bear is Russia. Don't poke the fucking bear. With China and Russia working to get, we screwed. We screwed. I don't want to go down that road and think of that. But see, I just went squirrel and went off on a tangent.
I know. I didn't mean to throw that up on you. I
No,
just
no, no, no. I do it to myself. I'm like, yeah, this is the kind of stuff that happens on my streams. You know, I'm like, talk about something
right.
and run off somewhere else. But you know, sometimes I just get so frustrated just in preparedness in general. I don't even want to say as a creator because it's not that. It's just in preparedness in general because I see people who don't have channels say they get upset with, you know, friends and family members who don't listen and don't take you seriously, or who think you're nuts and bonkers and all that kind of stuff. And it's so frustrating. I
Yeah.
wanted to, you know, I was at Walmart yesterday grabbing some stuff up. I'm gonna say grabbing because it makes it kind of sound like I'm in a panic. I was just picking up some stuff and had a moment where something I realized something, and you know, it just really hit me, and I was a little shook, and I was like, "Damn!" What I'd realized was, guys, look at the Best Buy dates. I always say expiration because that's what I grew up saying was expiration date.
Right. Me too.
Best Buy dates on everything. Okay, look at the Best Buy dates on everything in your store. Okay, on all your food. I started doing it yesterday. I was picking up some stuff, and all of a sudden, it just kind of hit me. I was like, "Hey, you know, the Best Buy dates on these last 4 or 5 things, different things I picked up, are only like 4 to 6 months out, 8 months
Really?
tops, 8 months tops." And I was like, "Wait a minute." So I started.
Usually a year.
Oh
Or
yeah, yeah,
most
or
stuff.
more.
It's yeah.
Yeah, depending on
Exactly.
what it is. You know, a year more, a box
Damn. I'm gonna have
thing.
to check that out.
Check it out. And, you know, but look that, and all of a sudden I realized, I thought, I went up and down 2 aisles just picking up random things I had no intention of buying, I wasn't gonna buy, I wasn't gonna eat, I just wanted to look at the dates, and the majority of things were like that, and it hit me, and I'm not kidding, I just kinda stood there in the hall for a second, you know, pretend like I'm, like, scratching off stuff on my list, but I was trying to just in my head going, "Shit, they're not getting anything in. They're not getting any new product. This is it." And I
Right.
was like, "Oh, crap." You know? It's one
Yeah.
thing to know logically, to talk on the channel and say, "Yeah, you need to stock up. This is gonna happen. We're gonna run out." But to actually be there and see it and have this realization of, oh shit, this is happening right now. I'm seeing this happening right now. You know.
And don't you have like it's a different feeling just in life. Like it's almost depressing, but you're not depressed. You're just there's a worry I have now in my body that I never had before. Like I really am worried that things can happen that before you would be like, that could possibly happen, but it probably will never happen. But now it's like, nah, them things could like we could actually end up in a world war right now. We
Yeah.
could actually end up going to the store and not being able to pick up food. All the things that you hear about these, prepper channels, they'll put out things like, you might end up having rations for food. You might end up having coins to go get food on a certain day. Like these things could actually come upon us with all the shit that's going on. Like it's absolutely insane. I would have never thought in a million years that things would have happened that has happened in these past 2 years.
Yeah.
You could have never told me America could have these things happen to its people. And it's just like, man, I think everybody has that feeling too. Even the people that don't pay attention to a whole lot of stuff. Because there's people in my family, they're not preppers. They don't get into all the stuff. They try to live. And they are really worried about things that they would have never worried about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't into preparedness, and they may be kind of paying attention a little bit. I don't know. I think people are starting to pay attention some, but there's still a whole lot of people who aren't, or they're still they take the media at face value. Whatever the media is telling them, whatever, the major channels are saying, they accept it. Whatever the administration is saying, they accept it. And there's a part of me that thinks, sure, we were all there at one point. We all started off there thinking, yeah, and then somewhere along the way, we started questioning or changed our mind, was like, hey, wait a minute, that's not right. Or, and we landed where we are now. I don't know. I got a lot of thoughts on this. I'm not going
Yeah.
to get them out very well, but I just get, so I had that moment in the grocery store, and I suddenly, I was just like, I had this moment of, oh crap, oh shit. And I texted Mister, I was like, hey, all the dates on all this stuff is only like 4 to 6 months. I saw a couple that were like 8 months out. There were some things like canned like vegetables and soup, and some of them canned meats, some and glass jars of stuff like sauces and what have you. It's farther out, but the majority of things not that far out. And I was like,
Yeah.
I really was. I was seeing the aisle like, oh shit.
I'm going to be
And
checking all that stuff now.
I wanted to just stand there and, I feel like I wouldn't just like climb up on my cart and be like, attention, everybody, you need to make way to the rice and beans aisle. You need to stock your ass up right now. I'm not even playing.
That's what YouTube will do to you. It
know?
makes you turn into, I got to let everyone know everything. You know what I'm saying?
But I wanted to do that. And there was a part of me that's like, I got angry because I was like, because I'm looking around at people and I'm like, okay, because there was a lot of people in there for a Wednesday afternoon. I thought, why are there so many people in here? And I thought people saw China told their country to stock up, but nobody in there looked like they were really stocking up anything more than their usual everyday stuff,
Yeah.
And I was then I was irritated. I'm like, y'all need to pay attention.
Yeah.
It's just really frustrating. So
Y'all
anyway,
better stop. Y'all better stop thinking that life's just going to be grand and nothing bad can happen.
that the government's going to take care of you, because they're not.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That
No,
was
they're
like,
not.
I've had so many people be like, well, I'll just wait for, and I've seen that actually I've actually seen that attitude in preparedness forums too, on other platforms. People saying, well, I'm prepped, I'm prepped for 3 months, 6 months, however long. After
Right.
that, the government will be back up and working and we'll be okay. And I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. I'm not even, the thing about it is, look at what happened in 2020. And this is what proves it to you. The government couldn't. They didn't have the face diapers. They didn't have it for their own hospital workers. They did not have the stock for it. For something that serious that they already knew could definitely happen because it's happened in the past. And a country like the United States of America was not prepared to take care of its people, its first responders. They didn't have the equipment and the PPE to give to the... Did that not blow? And that proves right there, they can't even they don't have the means to take care of the people that they have to take care of.
Mhm.
Much rather help us out here in these streets.
Yeah, no, they ain't gonna be out here. Nobody helping us out here in these streets except our own damn selves. You
Yep.
know, that's
Yep.
that's the God's honest truth right there. Nobody's gonna come along, or maybe, it's like I was about to say, or maybe if something really bad happened, it'd be communities coming together, maybe local governments and local law enforcements and towns like that. But I feel like I'm starting to get into this kind of wargaming, or situations or scenarios where it's like I don't know, where I start feeling like maybe I don't know. I don't want to think of if that's a possibility, if something so bad would happen that we're reduced to functioning as small communities like that. That's
Yeah.
pretty bad.
What's
Um,
crazy is we could actually end up being in situations like prepping outside the box, native. They do those shows with those war gamings or scenarios.
I'm just so
And
native.
what's so scary is some of those situations could actually come upon us.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know you, Sandwich. I don't know you. Know it ain't like we grew up together, but
You know me as well as you
I
can know
got
somebody on the internet.
yeah. I know how you think and stuff. You don't go that route. You won't sit there and tell somebody something unless you really really have done some thinking on it, seen some research, seen some things. And when I start hearing you worrying about certain things, that's another thing that I learn off of is when you know somebody don't bullshit around, they're not just gonna fall for some tinfoil shit, or even if it could be true, but there ain't enough proof there. Sandwich is not gonna fall for it. But there's certain things that I've been hearing you talk about, and I'm like, damn, if Sandwich is worrying about that shit, I really need to really be up on my game on that. You know what I'm saying?
I have
And
some
that's no
concerns. Yeah, I have some concerns for sure. It's like I don't want to say worry, but yeah, I was like I was a little bit worked up earlier. We'd This morning we actually drove over to Fort Hood and went to the commissary over there. We hadn't been in. Last time we had gone was last year, like about at the start of all this junk,
right.
and then we went like about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, just to kind of see what was going on, and looked all right. And we decided to go back because they had a really, really, really good price on some turkeys, and turned out they had a really good price on some ham. So we got 2 turkeys and 2 hams, but it
Awesome.
was interesting to see. Let's see here, what's POTB seeing?
That's awesome though. You got to get your turkeys in hand.
Yeah, knock on wood, it's nice to, if the worst problem you got is that the fridge and freezer are crammed full and you can't get anything else in there,
Yeah.
and that's kind of it's kind of what we ran
Yeah.
into. But the plan is to go ahead and cook the turkeys because they were 48 cents a pound, you know, and
Is that good? I don't
that,
even know.
yeah,
I would think that's really good.
there's no 48 cents a pound. I've been seeing like over $1 and change a pound for turkey this year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and the hams were like $8 off, so.
Oh, nice.
So we just went,
Nice.
just us like, you know what, this could be lunch meat because this can be cheaper than lunch meat.
Yeah.
So we just went ahead and
I
cooked it. And
I was telling Niecy like if we go ahead and get a couple turkeys, I know you can can turkey meat.
oh
It got
yeah.
to be just like chicken, I would think. 90 minutes and all that. So I think we're
Hmm.
gonna can some turkey. Plus, I make a mean turkey soup.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I make a mean turkey vegetable soup. So if I cook up a couple pots of that and then can it, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
have that because I love it and I can eat that for days. So and so can my kids and Niecy loves it too. I make it a little spicy, it get you sweating a little bit, but it tastes so good. So it'd be good to have it jarred up and you just break it out if you need to.
Nice. Yeah, that's the way to
But I
do it.
feel you, POTB. I feel you, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. I think of stuff like that too. I'm like, man, if I don't know if it's so much a case of if food gets real short, it's when. And I say things like this, and I start questioning myself. And I think this is a healthy thing for us to do periodically. All of us question ourselves of, do I sound crazy? Am I running down that road? Am I sounding like a tinfoil hat? Am I
Right.
sounding, am I getting way out there and far left, right, center, whatever field? Am I getting way out there?
Or
Do I need a
maybe
reality check, or is this a real possibility? I mean, like a very, could this really happen? And I start thinking
we're
of different
waking
stuff.
up even more. I mean,
Maybe we're just becoming more aware of the likelihood of different things happening.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, Well, a lot of people still have their head in the sand of not wanting to prepare or not seeing the need to have anything past maybe a week or 2 weeks worth of supplies because they feel that it's more likely that, if anything goes beyond that time frame, then the government will step in with assistance.
If I only had 2 weeks worth of supplies, I would go bonkers.
I was about to say, I go crazy.
Yes,
Go
you wouldn't
crazy.
want to be around me. I would be paranoid. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
But, it's like POTB just said, it's like how many people have more than 2 weeks worth of food,
Yeah,
What?
I would say there's less people with that than more.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Most
The
people don't keep that
population,
much.
less people have less than 2 weeks worth of food than people that have more than 2 weeks worth of food by
Yeah.
far. I would think.
Yeah. Most people don't keep that much. Most people
I,
don't.
I my oldest daughter's grandmother, she had always, and now, this was years ago when I was younger. I actually lived with her and stuff. It's my daughter's grandmother. She never shopped for the week. Every evening she'd go to the store and pick up what she wanted to cook for dinner that evening. And there was a little bit of stuff in the fridge and stuff, but I mean, probably at the most 3 days worth of food, and you was ass out. This is back when I was like 16 and 17 years old.
Right.
But man, how many people are like that? That's what's scary. I mean, I
I
couldn't
used to be like
imagine.
that. I used to be like that. I'd go
Yeah,
after work, and I mean, I had some stuff at home, but I'd go pick up, or go get the fresh produce or whatever every night and all like that. And then I got out of it. I was like, no. There's a lot of people that are still like that. They go after work, or they'll go once or twice a week just to get their fresh produce and to get different stuff. And actually, I was at the HEB the other day, and it was yesterday actually. It was, bless you. Is that Niecy sneezing?
yeah. Sam,
I heard that.
she'll hear you in a second. She's on a little delay, but she'll hear you.
Yeah. But so I was at the grocery store yesterday, and
She's smiling.
I was waiting in line. The person in front of me had their food stamps, had their SNAP card, right, and
Right.
was getting whatever with the SNAP card, and it was the express line, but it wasn't being real express at the time because the person was trying to kind of juggle what was on their SNAP and what cash they had. And the lady wanted, she wanted to get like a couple candy bars too, but she didn't have enough. So man, I've been in the position when you've been up there at the register and you've got to ask them, okay, can you take this off? Okay, well now can you take this? Because you got to
Oh yeah.
you got to have a certain amount, because you're trying to budget in
Yep.
your head real quick, and people behind you in line are being crappy.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't.
Assholes.
Yeah, they're being shitty, making little comments and shit.
And it's already embarrassing enough.
Exactly. Yeah, and I
mean,
wasn't gonna say anything. I don't care. It's like I've been there. And it's like I wasn't in a hurry, and hell, it was raining outside. I didn't want to go back out in that, But I'm standing in line. I was zoned out thinking about what I'd just seen at the Walmart and what I was seeing in the store there at the grocery store. And the guy behind me is, you ever seen people who are just kind of talking loud to their kids, being cute, but it's like a show for everybody to hear them.
oh
They're being
yeah.
like kind of,
Oh yeah.
and they feel like saying, "Shut the fuck up." That's just me.
Yes indeed. Yes
Sorry.
indeed.
I cuss on my channel. But
Right,
in my
right.
head, I'm standing there, I'm smiling, but in my head, I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." Nobody cares.
Yes.
I don't care about you being
Yes.
cute. Which I know you love your
It's just like the
children.
one that'll get on the phone and start talking all loud so you can hear their conversation.
Yes.
Like they
I
be in the
don't.
middle of the store like there's something special. Like, would you shut the hell up?
Yeah, nobody cares. No one cares.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Drama queen,
Yeah.
attention
Well,
seeker.
attention whore. Yeah, nobody
Yeah,
cares.
right.
So this
Right.
guy's behind me, and he's got, I'm assuming it was a grandchild with him, and he's not older. He's, but the kid, and he's talking about whatever and food, and she was wanting some. Oh, I think she was wanting, at the register they got the little snacks all up there and the candy and everything, and there was some peanut butter crackers or cheese crackers or something. And she wanted to pack them. And he's like, no, no. And he's telling her, no, it's all full of processed this and that. And I was like, oh, he's one of these. Okay. I had to have all his fresh everything. And all I could think in my head after what I just saw and this, what I'm thinking that from the Walmart and the expiration dates and the empty shelves at the HEB, I'm standing there in my mind, I'm thinking, you're not going to make it. It was like,
yes.
You're not going to make it.
I think that about all kinds of people.
And I'm like,
different
I don't
situations.
I don't know how long I'd make it, but I damn sure make it longer than you would. So
yes, me and Nisi always say that to each other. We'll see somebody and they'll do something little, and it's just like, they ain't gonna make it a weekend shift.
And I'm like, that sounds horrible. It's a terrible thing, but it does. Look, if I'm not the only one thinking. I know some of y'all in chat probably think, no, I'm gonna make it longer than you. But he's going on and on about. He's telling this little girl, and it's he's really talking to everybody in line, but he's pretend to talk to the little girl who doesn't give two fucks about the importance of eating fresh vegetables and non-processed foods, because she wants some cheese crackers. She wants to go to
McDonald's.
Yeah, she wants the cheese crackers, the cheese nips or whatever the hell's on the shelf, and he won't buy it for her because she's like 7 years old, so she wants some junk food, and he won't buy it for her.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, but it made me start thinking too. This is my brain going off on another tangent here. There's nothing wrong with eating fresh stuff. You should. It's great. It's good. Be healthy, whatever. But you also need to incorporate, if you're prepping, you need to be prepared to eat some of your shelf-stable items, because if you wait until a shift or some bad situation happens to dip into it, you are going to be in a world of gastrointestinal distress, my friend. You are going to, your stomach is going to be very upset with you, and not just your stomach. You better make sure you've also got the kaopectate and everything else on hand, and a few extra rolls of, toilet paper or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
I bet you that thought, like G2 says, I bet you that thought process that we have is got to be a prepper. That's something unified that you just hit on. Like every prepper probably thinks that. They've been in the store, seen some stuff, and been like, that person is not going to make it when shit hits the fan. It's just, you're gone. You want to do a prayer for them, like, I'm sorry to say, but
you're a goner.
Yes,
you've been voted off the island.
Yes, indeed.
You've been voted off Prepper Island.
What?
May the odds forever be in your favor.
That's exactly what I said. That was my thumbnail. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's the ones like that where I kind of, it's a little bit, it's tongue in cheek, and I giggle in my head. I'm like, yeah, you're not going to make it. But the ones that I'm going to take a turn here. The ones that really hurt my soul is when I see older people in the store, because I know they're on a fixed income.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are on a fixed income. You don't have to be just older or retiree. A lot of people are on a fixed income, but it hurts me to see older people, because I think, especially when I can tell, they're counting the money, they're on their budget and they're getting certain things, and
I thought a lot about them in 2020 and up till now, because when I would see somebody that was older in a grocery store, and I just thought to myself, yes, especially at the beginning of it, because I was like, yes, I'm very worried about being in the store, because we didn't know what it was at first. We didn't know how bad it was, and
nobody knew.
Everybody was nervous, but I would look at somebody and they would look like they were 70 or 80 years old, and I'm like, I'm scared. Can you imagine how scared they are? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how worried would you be with something like this, and the way it was hitting older folks and stuff? I was just like, man, you just want to run up and give them a hug and say, look, it's going to be all right. But if you give them a hug, you could have killed them. You know what I mean?
Or I wanted to be like, with me, it's like, I want to take care of everybody and be like, come with me. I'm going to help you. Let me help you out. Right. A mental picture I carry in my head from that time. And it was pretty early on. It was before the mad rush started. That for us, it was spring break here. And in March, where it really got crazy, and it was starting to pick up before then. And I was in HEB in the grocery store one day, and I had gone in, and I was seeing empty shelves already. Some shelves were already starting to get empty, and this is before the mad rush. And I remember seeing there was an older couple there, and they were probably 60, probably 70s, I would say, probably 70s, because I remember thinking they were probably about my folks' age.
Right.
And it was a husband and wife, and he had 2 buggies, and they were packed full, and I thought, "Good, good." I almost wanted to cry because I was like, "I'm so glad." And because a part of me too at the same time thought, "Oh gosh, how much money they have to spend. They might not," and not that all older people are
Yeah.
poor or living that, but it's, sometimes you're on a tight budget,
Yeah.
or, and I thought, and one card,
They're gonna make it. That's what
yeah,
you thought.
yeah, I
They
was
are gonna
like,
make it
and he had a list and he was doing it, and
because
I
they're
just kind of,
preparing to stay in the house for a couple months.
yeah, and in one buggy he
Yeah.
had full. I noticed that I was kind of there on the end. I was watching him just a little bit, and he was crossing stuff off his list, and he had 2 carts full, and I thought, good, good, good. And then I realized he was taking care of her. She wasn't there, and he was
Oh,
leading her along, and one of the buggies was full of all kinds of adult incontinence things for her. Because
right,
you could tell
right.
she had under her clothes. You could, sometimes you can just tell
Yeah,
when somebody's wearing some,
right,
and just
right.
the way he was leading her along. And I'm not kidding. I strongly wanted to go over there and say, because he's trying to wrangle 2 buggies and her. I wanted to go over and say, "Would you like some help? Can I help you?" And I thought,
Yeah, yeah.
no, because you don't,
Social distancing.
we weren't even doing that yet. It hadn't
Oh, you
even
wasn't
really
doing
hit.
that
It was
yet?
just, it was more of a, I'm real funny about going up to strangers and say, because
Right, right.
sometimes people are weird and,
Yeah.
you know,
Sometimes they'll get offended, like, "Well, I'm not that old yet." You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah. Or, maybe
Yeah,
he didn't want help or,
right.
it was, but I carry that image in my mind of remember that man and his wife, in their 2 carts full of stuff and him taking care of her. And I'm like, oh man, he's taking care of her, which was beautiful. But I was like, man, yeah, like I said in the beginning, we didn't know. We didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, we didn't.
But I think of that
And
sometimes, and I see the older people who obviously have just such a little bit in their cart, and I think, I hope you have piles of stuff at home. That's what I'm going to think of.
yeah,
But that's
I,
the stuff
I,
that gets me. It's the older people.
I hit my uncle up because he was, he's 70 years old. And when it first broke out, I hit him up and I said, "Look, I don't care what it is. If you need something from the store and you don't want to go out and put yourself in those situations, when this shit first hit, I was letting all my family know. And I was like, look, you call me and I'll go take care of it. Because I have a at the way things were looking in March and April, I have a way better chance at surviving if something was to catch than if you went out there. You know what I mean? And he never
Yeah.
did. He never hit me up. He's a manly man. He is, he does what he
Yeah.
does. But I told him more than once. Like, I hit him up like 3 or 4 times, like every 2 weeks. "Hey, man, you need anything? Is there anything that you need, man? I'll take care of it, man. I'll run out right now if you need to. You can just pay me back whenever. I ain't even worried about it."
Hmm.
And he's like, "Nah, I got it. I ain't worried about it. I'll throw on a mask or something." You know what I'm saying?
Like, nah, I'm good. Like,
Right.
okay, well, while you're there, will you get me some stuff?
Yeah, can you pick me up something since you going? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't trying to go since you going anyways.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna go, I mean, like, let me give you a couple dollars. Just
Right.
pick me up a Chico stick and something.
Yes, indeed. Swing by McDonald's real quick.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
But when this first thing first hit for the first couple months, we didn't even eat fast food. We were like, nope, that stuff might be on the packaging. It could be on the straws. I don't know where the hell shit's coming from. I am not playing around. Because, when you're a prepper, that's one of the things you prep for is a pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, I had, N95 stacked up. I had, the rubber gloves, cleaning solutions, Lysol bottles out the ass, alcohol, like alcohol, rubbing alcohol.
Oh,
So
we have
when this
Cavicide.
hit, my super prepper kicked in, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready for this. You just, I was going to the store. I would come home. I would strip butt naked out on my porch, jump right in the shower. I would bag up my clothes, put them right into the washer. I mean, I was super careful the first month or two. Plus, I have health issues, so I was definitely not trying to mess around with no shit that I didn't know nothing about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I was like, pandemic. Oh, sorry, I said the word.
I think we can say it. Ain't no biggie.
Oh,
We
sick.
can
I was
say
like, oh, sickness. Oh. Yeah, we're ready. I was like,
right.
sorry. Yeah, we have masks and Cavicide and gloves. Which, I mean, I had this stuff anyway because I'm a medical nerd. don't work in medical. I don't want anyone to be like, you said. No, I didn't. I don't. I just said I'm a medical nerd.
Yeah.
And I don't even claim to. I don't begin to know everything, but yeah, no, we got stuff because that's my thing. But yeah, I was like, we're set because Mr. didn't. We both realized that we communicate, but we need to communicate a lot more because he didn't know we had a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's right here. And he's like, I don't ever look over here. I was like, yeah, look, it's right here on the shelf. We're good.
We good.
I was like, we're good. See, we even got some N100s. He's like, oh. And I was like, too bad we don't have like a full face though with some things. He's like, wait. And he pulls them out. I'm like, where'd those come from?
Damn.
I was like, I don't remember picking
Go ahead, mister.
Yeah. Well.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, what? I said, I didn't. I said, well, I knew he had one from when he was in service. He had one. We'll just say that. And I was like, I didn't know I had one. I bought it for you a while back. I didn't know. So.
Me and Nisi walked up in the local Ace. This is back when it very first hit. And we walked in and they had this big old box thing and it had a bunch of N95 masks in it. And it probably had at least 30 packs of N95. So, and I already had a bunch, but I was like, I'm going to pick up a couple more, just like we always do, especially when something hitting like this. Yeah. So I picked up a couple. As soon as we walked in, I said, I better get a couple now. Who knows? If other people know anything like we do, they're going to scoop them up. We might not even have none if we were. And damn sure enough, there was this old dude. It looked like he came in with his son, and his son was like probably in his 30s, and the older dude was probably 60s, late 60s. They took it all. They every single pack that was in there, they took them all. I was like, holy shit, I'm glad we grabbed a couple of them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was crazy, man. 2020 was nuts.
Well, 21's not shaping up to be any better. It's just different.
You got that right.
It's just a different kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We've been going about 2 hours and 16, man, time flies. I've been having such a good time conversating, hanging out with the chat. This has been great. But I'm going to call it in probably like 5 minutes because I don't want it to go too long. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I do want to let everyone in the chat know, and all the members that get to see this in if they watch it before tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we're gonna have a really good time. Just Josh is gonna do like his first real show live, and I'm gonna be his co-host. And he's going on at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're gonna bring people up on the panel. He's gonna have special guests, and we're gonna do an alpha beta test on people to see who's alpha, who's beta.
Yeah, that looks like that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and then after that, me and Native, we don't always do it because I missed the last 2 Fridays, but me and Native have been doing every Friday night here lately, every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right after Just Josh's, me and Native are going to do our tribe cast, and Just Josh is going to be on there with us. It's going to be us three. And we're going to have special guests. We're going to bring people probably out of the chat and stuff, and we're going to go even deeper into it and go from alpha and beta to sigma and gamma and all that stuff. So it should be a fun time. And don't think that it's just going to be alpha, beta, gamma. It's not like that. We're going to have fun with it and try to pick on people, laugh, have a good time. So tomorrow night should be a really fun night if y'all want to come hang out. Just saying. Just saying. You still there?
I'm here. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I was
trying to decide. I was like, because I've been thinking about it, I was like, I want to get up there. I'm like, probably not. I'm probably just going to sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah, we're not going to pick on people too bad. But, we're just
I think it'd be fun to see, though. It sounds really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something really different.
Just Josh came up with it. He came up with the idea, and he was like, Tribe, what do you think about this? I was like, damn, that's a good idea. Why didn't I think of that?
That'd be
fun. What I'm saying?
Well, it's fun. It's, it's something fun, interact with everybody, and it sounds like it'll be a good time. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it should be. It definitely should be. He's super excited. He's done called me like 5 times talking about it and saying different things that he wants to do and stuff. So it's going to be really fun. We should have a good time. Hopefully people will come over there and check it out. Because, he don't go live a whole lot. So he wants to have some people in the chat. So hopefully people will come over and hang out with us. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
I think so.
I think it'll be all right.
Tomorrow. I have to remind myself what day it is. Tomorrow's Friday. Yes, Friday night's gonna be good. To think Friday nights are good. People stay up later.
Yeah, and he's on the same time as you, so it's like 8 and then 9 o'clock. It ain't as late as it would be for me. You know what I mean? Because I'm East Coast time, so it's a little earlier for y'all, so it won't be so late.
Yeah, he's on Central with me. He's a
Yeah.
Dallas guy. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Let's see. Was somebody asking about the KN95s? I've heard and I've seen the KN95s. Are they good or are they knockoffs? There are knockoff N95s. After last year, there's all kinds of knockoffs of everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have any of the KN95s because we're still good on N95s. So I don't have any need for them myself.
Right.
Supposedly, they're good. They're just from another country. I don't know.
God,
I've seen conflicting stuff. I've seen some people say they're legit. I've seen other people say no, they're not. They don't do squat. I
Yep.
honestly don't know. I
Get
wish
you
I
a
had
P1. Get you one of those masks that they use when they paint cars and stuff, and have P100s. If you
Yeah.
really want to set yourself up for the future and something that might break out, at
Yeah.
least get you a P100 filter.
Get your partial, get the
Gas
half,
mask.
yeah, if you want a half
Respirator.
face respirator, yeah, the partial face
Yeah.
respirator with the P100, that's the pink filters that go on there.
That's your best protection against viruses.
Yeah, you can do that
Yeah.
if and put some goggles with it, protect your eyes even too,
Yep.
if
I
you don't want
was
to, if you
wearing
don't want to go
goggles
full
the first
face.
couple months.
Yeah.
I wore goggles too. Like people in the stores thought I was nuts, but there was a couple people that were with me. Like they were wearing this stuff too, and they were like, "Damn, I thought I was gonna stand out in here." And I was like, "I'm glad you're here because I don't look like a dumbass by myself." You know?
Hell
what I'm
no!
saying?
Look, we saw some people in full Tyvek suits with the whole thing out in the store, and I'm like, okay, now if you think it's that, if you had, what my thinking was, I'm sorry, you're showing off now, because if you had the full on Tyvek suit, and you had the N95 or the N100 mask and the goggle, if you got the whole thing and you're kitted up, I mean, they had the suit on correctly too. They were taped up. I was looking at them going,
Yeah.
if you had all that and you had the knowledge to get duded up like that, then you should already done had your damn food at home and not be coming out in public so everybody can just look at you just to be, seen. That's what I
Right.
thought. I was over there like,
Right.
show off. Kind of like the guy, talking behind me in line. I'm like, shut up, nobody cares.
Yeah.
know?
You think you're a better prepper than me,
There's a-
bastard?
Not if you're in here trying to get some rice and beans. You had the Tyvek suit, but you didn't have anything to eat.
I swear you're starving to death, but you can
Yeah.
breathe good.
What was the Tyvek suit with the hood? I mean, the whole thing. I'm like, dude, just walked off the set of Outbreak. What happened?
Right.
Walking in the Walmart in Central
Yeah.
Texas. So,
Man, there were some crazy people out there wearing some crazy shit. I seen it on the different videos or different pictures people snapped of people wearing some crazy stuff. It's funny as
Yeah.
hell.
My
But,
favorite
hey.
was a guy. Looks like he's in a Home Depot or a Lowe's or something. And he's got the pool noodles. He made a hat out of the pool noodles because they were 6 feet long, and so they stick out. He wore it like a hat,
Oh,
so they stuck
yeah.
out all the way around. So
Yeah.
it's like social distance. That's my
Right,
favorite.
right.
So
I like the one where they were putting out how to build face shields out of like 2-liter bottles. And they
yeah,
were like cutting 2-liter bottles. Hey, I tell you what.
because there was nothing available. Everything was gone. People were trying to make do.
Yeah. And it would have
Hell.
worked. I mean, if you needed, that would have worked. Like, I would have made one if it came down to that I thought I needed one. Like, you could honestly make a good face shield with a 2-liter bottle. Like, it was pretty neat.
Yeah. Shoot, I
Yeah.
remember they were saying if you were sewing the face masks at home, because I got that early. I had enough fabric. I grabbed thread early before people jumped on it, because then there was a run on like sewing machines and fabric and everything, and elastic. That was elastic for the homemade masks. I still
Right.
have some, the little round elastic. But they're saying interfacing. If you put however many layers of interfacing, that would help. And then you couldn't find interfacing for a long time. And it's like, I have some because I got it.
Well, see, I actually had it's this big ass piece of filter that goes to something, but I went in Ace Hardware a couple years back, and it's usually like $25 for one pack. It's a little thin pack. It's one piece of material, but it's actually it blocks everything. And they had packages. They had 2 packages left. And I was like, I'll use this for something. You know what I mean? So I had bought it. So I actually had material that would have blocked. It would have been like a P100, whatever I made
Oh,
with it.
yeah.
And I still got one pack that I didn't open. I did make some stuff just messing around trying to, because I was thinking my family might end up needing something, and I don't want to give up everything I got. So if I can make them something that works just as good, here you go. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No,
But
exactly.
yeah. All right. Well, we've been rolling for like almost 2.5 hours.
So
So
I'll keep talking if you let me. So just cut me off.
we appreciate y'all coming and hanging and being part of the members and everything. I hope we did a good job for y'all. Hope this was fun for y'all like it was for me. I had a great time.
I had a good time too. Appreciate you having me up here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate everybody in the chat. I mean, I've been watching y'all's conversation, trying to pick out. It's pretty chill. I like it. It's nice.
Yeah, these member lives are great. It slows down. You don't have a bunch of stuff where you don't have to worry about trolls. You don't have to, you just chill with your peoples and boom, you just chill and have a good night. Yeah. All right, y'all. We're going to call it. We're going to see y'all tomorrow night. Just Josh at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we're going to do the Tribe Cast on my channel at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to hang out, have a great time. Who knows how long it'll last. We just going to run with it. But hope to see y'all there. Thanks for being here tonight, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.